Comrades, today is February 5th, 2026, and the current time is 8:18 p.m. The experimental displacer kitten is still missing and is now currently believed to be absorbing radiation from one of the fusion reactors. Comrades working in or around the fusion reactors are advised to exercise extreme caution until the critter can be subjugated. That concludes today's announcements.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Hello. How bad is the internet? How bad is the stream? Hopefully it's not too bad. I just noticed I'm dropping a lot of frames, and I think it's because I forgot to check my internet before I started stream, which is really, really annoying. Give me 1 second to pull up our favorite program, Clip Studio Paint, which I will show up in just a moment here. Give me 1 second. And let me also find something to listen to in the background. I think I know what's going on, but if I were to try to fix it, it'd probably cause me to disconnect for maybe a couple seconds. So we'll see how this pans out. Also, how are all of you doing, comrades? I know we don't do art streams very often, but the poll was like 50-50 on art versus RimWorld. So I was like, all right, we'll throw the people who like art streams a bone and see how well this pans out, because it's not something we do very often, but I figured it might be at least a little interesting. So real quick, I'm trying to kind of also fix my... Oh my gosh, I'm dropping so many frames. Hold on 1 second. I might disconnect for a moment. Okay. Hopefully that fixes it. Oh my god. Okay. You've got to be kidding me. Why is it so bad? Alright, hold on. This should be fixed now, I hope. Oh my god, that's so frustrating. I don't really want to have to end stream and start it up again, so I'm just hoping this is going to work fine now, and we hopefully won't run into any more issues. I don't know why this keeps happening. Anyways, how are all of you comrades doing? Hello, Kefir, and Sun, and Kahila, and Zoingo, and Ray. Congrats to Ray for being first today. That's right. This is the weird art stream. By the way, I opened up my art... Oh my god, I'm still dropping frames. I opened up my... Jesus Christ, hold on. I recommend refreshing stream, by the way, if you're on Twitch. Highly recommend refreshing stream. I opened up my art program today, which I hadn't touched in quite some time, and do you want to know the first thing it showed me? I completely forgot about this abomination where I'm trying to explain the story of Fourth Wing, a book series that I have never read before in my life, but I was like, all right, this is probably fine, and we'll just see how it pans out. And I definitely tried my best to explain whatever the heck this book was about, and I don't think I did a very good job, but I sure tried. I don't think I want to listen to this. This is like the sounds of the Nintendo 3DS vinyl rip, and it's probably going to put me to sleep. Let's listen to... By the way, we're only going to listen to video game soundtracks, because it's the only thing that's not going to get me copyright struck by random Vietnamese companies again. So I'm trying to avoid being copyright struck by random Vietnamese corporations, right? I think we can all agree that's probably ideal. Also, holy cow, I need to... Oh my god. Hold on, I'm trying to fix the the vertical stream so people who are watching in there can kind of see what the heck I'm doing. So, anyways, how are all of you, comrades? I know this is a little odd. I was also trying to fix my controller. I actually have a miniature controller that I use for lack of better words, while controlling things on my art program, because it's a lot easier to use than having to what's it called, than pressing the buttons on my on my tablet. However, I think for whatever reason the dang thing has lost its joystick button assignment thing, and it's driving me crazy, and I have no idea how to fix it at this point. It's actually really frustrating because I thought I had fixed it correctly, but for whatever reason, it just really doesn't want to. I don't know if it's the way I had connected it. I'm going to try connecting it one more time and hope that works. I think there's like a specific way it's got to be connected, and it's not panning out. So I'm going to just try one more time and try to connect it as a standard... I think we'll try to connect it as an X input controller. and we'll see if that'll pan out. So it's blinking 3 times, and I have to hold this. So then I have to go open my Bluetooth connections and hold this button down. And then I have to go into pairing mode because, of course, everything is pairing mode nowadays. And let's see if I can connect. Okay, here's the gamepad. Please work correctly. I am still losing so many frames. Oh, what the is happening? Oh my god. Hold on. Give me 1 second. This may disconnect the stream temporarily. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Okay. This should be fine now. All right. I'm praying that my net will now be a little bit more stable. So you may be getting a laptop for yourself soon, but also you're low-key panicking because you couldn't really study lately. What do you mean you couldn't study? Like for class? Is it bad? Oh my god, Okay, there we go. All right, I got it. So I got my settings. Kind of. Well, I think I got... Let me make sure I got this right. Okay, so move, hand, rotate. And I use this thing for zooming. Okay, that should be fine. That's really the only thing I need. Okay, perfect. So move, kind of, and then rotate, which still doesn't work correctly because for whatever reason, as soon as I start streaming, all of my drag functions stop working. And it's very, very dumb and frustrating. I do recommend refreshing stream one more time. I apologize if you're on Twitch. Hopefully this will resolve any problems that we have moving forward. Anyways, how have all of you been? Fun fact, did you know I have a root canal tomorrow? That's right, I have to go to the dentist and have them basically take a dead tooth and fill it in with stuff to make it look like a new tooth, even though it's already dead, because it's something that I've been putting off for a very, very long time, and now that decision is coming to bite me in the bum, and now I must get my tooth repaired. If you don't know what a root canal is, let me just explain it real quick. Basically, for me, I have this cavity on one of my teeth. Right, so here's like your tooth, right? It looks something like this, right? Now, I got like a massive cavity here, so this entire section is like, I don't know, caved in a way. It's very rough. And then on top of that, it's a cavity that's kind of going in. So normally your tooth is filled with like a pulp, right? So it's usually filled in like here. That kind of goes down to like the roots. But imagine for me that mine is basically just like dead. Like the nerves and stuff in there are dead, and they're just basically trying to save the existence of the tooth for my ability to eat and bite and chew correctly. So that's essentially what's happening. It's not fun, but I gotta get it done, and so I will be getting that done. And it's gonna take about like an hour and a half at worst is what I have been told. So we'll see how it pans out. I'm hoping it's not gonna be too bad. I need to find like a nice video game soundtrack list. Let's see. Because again, we're not using soundtracks that's gonna get me copyright struck by random Korean companies like it did last time, so we'll avoid that. Don't stream again. I'm not gonna stream tomorrow. I don't stream on Fridays anyways. It's just more like I gotta get this done. Let's see. What is a good soundtrack that's not gonna get me slapped around? Let's do what have we not used? What have we not used in a while? I need a good video game. Pokemon OST. No, we use Pokemon. Oh, I know. Let's do Tactics Ogre OST. I like the Tactics Ogre soundtrack, so we'll do that. We'll do the Reborn one, because the Reborn one is kind of interesting. Let's start with the combat music. I usually like the ones that are more violence-y. Or the more dramatic ones, that's fine too. So anyways, yeah, so I was actually looking, and it has been approximately 3 months since I last pulled out my art tablet, because I don't ever draw. Because drawing is difficult. Art is difficult as a whole. I don't know how people are able to do this on a semi-regular basis, because holy cow, this is difficult. But I'm gonna try. I haven't, like I said, I haven't done this in a while, so I probably need at least a few minutes to oh jeez, well, I'm gonna adjust my desk real quick. Also, if I sound a little weird, I don't know why. I tried taking a nap earlier. I'm a little sniffly, which is not a good sign. And we'll see where I go from here, right? Anime girls are fun, and I'm probably gonna pull up Twitter for maybe some ideas, because I'm trying to remember how this works. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be annoying. For example, like how to draw a circle and then drawing character heads and stuff like that. Because it's every time you don't do this long enough, you just kind of start to forget like how any of this works, and that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Like I'm forgetting how to do all this stuff, you know. That's kind of the problem. The other thing too, which is also really funny and somewhat mildly related to this, which I found hilarious, is like I said, I opened this earlier and I was trying to decipher what in the world I had basically just drawn here. And I was like trying to follow along the plot of The Fourth Wing. If you really want, I can do another book description story thing at some point, but I'm gonna need to think of like which story, because I remember a few, like primarily something like Zero no Tsukaima and stuff like that. I'm gonna switch to the other model today. Let's switch. If I'm gonna be doing bad art, let's switch to the low res model. Oh, trust me, I don't plan on sneezing. I don't want to die. Thank you for handling that, Zoingo. I don't know why we're getting more of these random bots in this channel. How dare they come in and ruin my good fun. All right, let's see if I can remember how to draw a head. It's been quite some time. I think normally people start with something like they know. Oh, they usually start with like a circle, and then what? They start to kind of fill in the rest of it. I know circles are like usually the hot thing, but I can never remember the correct way to do circle stuff. I think that's kind of like my biggest issue. Like, yeah, you can draw a head like this, and you can put the eyes in, and you can do that, but it just never looks right. But at the very least, it kind of gets you a frame of like what you're trying to do, I think. I don't know. I really should have practiced a little bit more. Normally people do some kind of like hard grind for this. But let's see. I was watching a few streamers do some art the other day, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can get some idea of like what to do. But usually they always say, oh, it always just starts with a simple circle, and you can kind of work from there and get stuff done. But I don't know. Requires like a certain skill set, I would say. Like, yeah, you can draw chin, and then you can draw like the rest of the head, but it just doesn't look right. The half joking idea that I maybe had was, what if I just drew myself as one of them Uma Musumes, you know, with like, you know, your little horse ears like this, which, sure, it'd probably look really bad. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. I don't have any like pens to... My god. Hello? Heck? Oh! Shoot. Hi. I don't know how long I've been yapping and no one's been able to hear me. Holy cow, that is... I hate this. I hate this. I hate everything. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when I do art and I haven't done art in like an eternity, so I'm like, now I'm trying to remember how this stuff works. Oh. Yeah, I was mentioning, like, I had a really cursed idea of, like, what if I just tried to draw one of them Uma Musumes, except it's me, ha ha ha, because it's not that hard to just draw my character. It's not my VTuber self is not that hard to draw. It's super easy. You just draw this, and then you can just draw the rest of it. You know what I mean? Still look like vaguely Glaceonish. Is it? I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. You have to draw like the line here. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Kashiwa haunts. I don't know. I was trying to. I have no idea what I wanted to draw today, but I definitely want to try drawing something. So I need to come up with stuff. I can draw like very dumb sketches like very quickly, but it's just like I want to have like a better, like something nicer to draw. Let me pull up Twitter real quick. I'm just gonna browse it real quick for a nice bit of inspo, as the kids say. Also, just realized the chat box and the vertical's not in the correct order. By the way, I just saw this earlier, but did you know they're making a sequel to Baldur's Gate 3? But it's not the what you're expecting. Oh no. They're like, what if we made Baldur's Gate 3, but it's it's a TV show. Yeah. They're like, we're gonna make a TV show for some unholy reason on HBO, and it's gonna be a sequel instead of an original, and that's the whole plot. And I'm like, all right, this is where we've come to. Everything is a TV show now. I guess they decided. I guess they looked at what was that dang thing called? They looked at the Fallout TV show and decided, you know what, we should emulate that. That is exactly what we want to do. And I think that's probably one of the more questionable decisions that they're making, but at this point, who cares? This is where we're at now. All right, let's try this. We're gonna draw a head. Actually, you know what I should do? I should look at what's it called? A John Wick scene and just draw from that and see if I can pull that off. But I don't know. Let's see. So how do I normally do this? I think this circle. That's fine. We'll adjust in post. So I can never get these heads right. These heads are such a struggle for me. That, I think that's correct. Okay, so that looks like a proper head, I think. And then we can draw the neck. Something along those lines is probably fine. Anyways, how well have you been? This is probably going to be a bit of a shorter stream than usual anyways, because again, I got that root canal in the morning, which I'm not looking forward to, but I know it's got to get done. I'm sure I'll be okay, probably. I've survived worse. I survived that massive tooth extraction, so I can definitely survive this. This has to go, like, more down here, I think. This is supposed to be like a guideline. What is this track from? My gosh, I love this game that this soundtrack is from, which is Tactics Ogre. But I also have not played Tactics Ogre in a very long while. And so, let's see. Okay, geez, there's something wrong with this. I don't know, I can never get this right. You know what? Hold on. Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll develop my own art style, but for now I'm just kind of trying to make it look somewhat okay. And then let's see. We do something like this. How do shoulders work? I think normally people do something like this. Just trying to get back into the flow of it, because again, I haven't done art in a while, and that's kind of like my biggest issue. Is like I'm not consistent with this. And they always say you got to be like a consistent artist to get better at art, and I'm just like, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. Being consistent when I could just complain about not having skills. Where's the combat music? Clash of Giants sounds like a combat's track. Hopefully with less awful writing to the Fallout show. I've never actually seen the Fallout TV show, primarily because I just don't care about Fallout at all. You know what? I know what I'm gonna do. You know what? I'm gonna be a baby. Hold on. I kind of want to draw something with a gun, so what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna take one of these downloaded poses and just try to draw with that. I think that'll be kind of fun. Just to give it a shot. Let's try this is the new one. Oh my gosh, that's too realistic. Oh my gosh, they really went for the realistic design. Okay, no, just kidding. Let's pull out the anime themed one instead. I don't want that. Okay. Let's see here. Goo Goo Gaga time. What do you mean by that? Hello, Skylet. How are you? Poor parents are so lost as they watch alongside. Like I said, I know nothing about Fallout that much. I don't really know much about Fallout because I never played it. A lot of my friends were really into Fallout growing up, but I just didn't have an Xbox, so it was not really a thing that I ever got into. And let's take this model. And then let's just try adding a pose to it. Let's, where's the downloaded pose I have? Ooh. I don't have the gun in there, but let's see. These are actually kind of interesting poses. What else do we got? Duet poses. Some brushes. Sniper. Oh, you know, that's kind of nice, actually. I don't have a gun to reference, unfortunately. Kudo's kind of interesting, though. Fallout is out on the NES too. Is it really? I have no idea if that's true or not, but I mean, if you say so, sure, why not? I have no reason to disbelieve it. Let's try... Let's see. What is this pose? Ah, yes, the cool katana drawing pose. The Wayfish anime pose. The butt pose for some reason. What else we got? Sure, let's start something simple like this. Let's start with maybe just a basic pose and just see if I can work around this. Again, I'm not gonna try to copy the pose one-to-one, but at least something to work with is fine. My app shows 2 languages. What do you mean? I got English and Japanese on here, if that's what you're asking. What do you mean I got 2 languages? Actually, I kind of want to try some of those, what is this pose? That's not a pose, that's a body model. Let's not use that one. Hello, Rano, good evening. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of people playing, what's it called today? Menace. Menace seems cool. I unfortunately don't own Menace, so I'm not going to be I'm not going to be playing Menace today. What's the 2 different? Oh, one's male and one's female, so I guess the male one's more... It's mostly in the structure of the hip. Let's see. I have a whole set of Kudo poses as well. That's actually kind of nutty. This is release. Oh my gosh, I know exactly how to... I forget the names of all these poses because it's been a while, but I know how to do every single one of these. This is a very popular pose for Kudo. Actually, you know what? Hold on, I kind of want to try this. Let's try this. I think this might be interesting. How do I frame this? Why don't we frame it like... Hold on. Let's see. I want to adjust this real quick. Yeah, let's try this pose. I think it's fine. Let's bring it bigger into frame, and then let's just adjust it a little bit. Maybe so it's like right there, and maybe not do a full body. Let's try. You should still at least see the face. You know what? Let's try this. I think this will be fun. Let's try this. Crank that transparency down, and then make this a blue layer, and that should be fine. Okay. What about you, Rano? How have you been? Have you been playing anything exciting? Oh, I'm so excited for what's that? Rabbit and Steel. Let's listen to Rabbit and Steel, actually. Rabbit and Steel's a really fun game, and I'm super excited for the DLC that's coming out tomorrow. I plan on playing that quite a bit. Rabbit and Steel OST. I still can't believe they got a VTuber to do one of the songs in that game, and I think it's quite nice. Oh my god, this is the full album. A whole hour, 16 minutes. Alright, let's go. Alright, cool. I forgot that I don't know how to draw circles. Yeah, stop playing Hoi 4. Play better games, you know? There's so many better games you could be playing, Rano. You could be playing Menace. I don't know how to draw hands, but I'm gonna at least try to pretend like I do. This would be a glove normally, so keep that in mind. Okay, that's fine. And then I gotta draw the head, obviously, which is like the more difficult part. So I think for the head, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that on a separate layer because I want to manipulate the head a little bit more until I can get that right. Oh wait, I forgot. My strategy for circles now is I just take a big fat brush that's approximately the size I need and then just press. This is such an easy way to do things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can just do this. Let's make it like maybe 400 and we'll just make it a little higher, it's fine. And then you take an eraser of equivalent size and just go in the middle, and then you just kind of erase around it. Just like that. Hello, Infidave. What are you screaming in agony for, huh? I have done nothing to deserve Such abuse. See, look at that. Now I've drawn a good enough circle. Then I can then properly draw around. Because screw trying to draw real circles. This stuff is hard. Alright, this is difficult enough as it is. Art stream actually happened? Yes, art stream is actually happening because people wanted an art stream. So I'm like, alright, here you go. Rabbit and Steel BGM. Rabbit and Steel is a really good game. I keep telling people, play Rabbit and Steel. You will love it. It's a fantastic title. By far one of my favorites that I've ever played. No, it has to be a perfect circle. Why? If it's not a perfect circle, why live? Isn't that how that works? Hold on, I need to look at an example for an artist that I like. I still think it's really funny that one of my favorite artists who does some really cool stuff went completely off the deep end and just draws not safe for work content now. It's so weird. I was like, oh my gosh, he was drawing like really cozy, cute stuff, and then he just went off the deep end. Now he just draws hentai. I'm like, oh my god. Please go back to drawing normal manga, I beg of you. I beg of you, please. Oh my gosh, I wish I was joking, but it's true. Whatever, that's the world we live in. Alright, that's probably good enough if I do it like this. Some people, they, like, you know what's really funny? It's like, he saw a character in something that in a media that he chose to consume, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make this my entire thing now. Like, that's his entire shtick. You know what? Who should this be? I was gonna draw myself, but I don't think I want to draw myself. I think I want to draw one of those. I want to draw one of the portraits. Actually, you know what? No, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use that same character. I like that. I like the design of that one character that I drew. Which one was it? This one. So I think we're gonna use her as the as this model too. But maybe we'll do a different outfit. Maybe we'll do a different outfit for this. You thought you were Bunny and I'm listening to the Rabbit and Steel OST because it's really good. No, I'm not gonna. We don't have the throwy thing, remember? Art stream means no throws because it makes my GPU driver crash every now and again, so I'm trying to avoid that. Yeah, so I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. Okay, so just real quick, just to do this, we're gonna. Not really how I'm gonna draw this. I don't remember how any of this works. You know, it's really funny. I'm actually someone who does this, so I can understand like how this stuff works. How did no, he's not recovered. he's perpetually on that deep end, which is the funniest thing. And maybe it's a very cursed thing, but yeah, he's on that real deep. Okay, so should be looking like in this direction. So keep that in mind is what the direction we're aiming at for this. Okay, so oh my gosh, we'll try to get as far as I can, but I don't know how long I'm going to stream. Because again, root canal. I'm hoping that root canal just will be done real fast. I don't have to worry too much about it because God, I don't really want to deal with it. We're gonna go back here, which is where we're doing the arms. Okay, so the elbow's like right around here. And I'm just gonna do this. So I know this is like where the shoulder is. It's really awkward, like the way it's set up, but I kind of get what it's trying to do. And then obviously this is like kind of where we're holding the Yumi at this point. Okay, just so I have an idea where that is. And then we'll just draw the rest. We'll try to just quickly sketch the rest of the outfit. So, we'll see. Maybe we'll do the standard outfit. Do I want to do the Necrograd uniform for this one? Kind of require me to draw on a different angle that I'm not familiar with. Yeah, sure, we'll give it a shot. Why not? That's fine. So for me specifically, it's it's my left molar right after the bottom left molar right after the wisdom tooth. So if you have your wisdom teeth removed, it's the last one you have. And like I said earlier, like there's a pretty nasty cavity in there. Like imagine if this is your tooth, right? Imagine if like there's just like a cavity like right here. And all the pulp in here is just dead. Like the nerves are dead. And so they gotta replace the dang thing and just hope that it's not gonna be too bad, but they wanna see if they can save it. Hopefully they can, but there's no guarantee that they'll be able to save the tooth. They're gonna try as best as they can. Hello Xanth, good evening. How are you? This is correct. And then am I really gonna do? Yeah, I guess we'll do the Necrogrod uniform. I think it'll be at least a little interesting to have something different. Even I could just do the normal like kimono, well, the gi. But for this one, let's try something a little different. We'll use the even in Necrogrod, they learn the ancient art of Japanese archery. Primarily because I'm one of those people who actually studies this, so I am actually said archer. I don't think that looks right. I think I'm getting the perspective wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust that a little bit. You had one last year. Ah, okay. Yeah, mine's basically dead. Actually, wait, no, this is fine because what was that one TV show, Inuyasha? Doesn't Kagome use a Yumi, but she just does it entirely in a schoolgirl uniform? Something along those lines, right? Do you have to take on this classic Cupid archer? I don't know how to do a Cupid archer. What is Western archery? That's crazy talk. What's Western archery? That's silly. That's some silly ideas. Hello, Alana. How are you? There we go. I think that's probably correct. And then we'll do the ribbon later. I think this is probably not the right angle. It's probably got to be more like blow out like this. And then the last one, probably somewhere like here. Maybe it should be longer. Maybe down here, but let's just try this for now. I don't really know how cloth and clothes work. Just had a stick of dynamite. You know what? That's true. We could make it like a sci-fi bow and arrow. That could be fun. You know, let's try that. We could experiment. We're just kind of messing around anyways, seeing if I can learn how this stuff works. Okay, so she's got a very serious look, right? So it should be something like hopefully I'm drawing this right. I'm trying to not just copy the eye, if that makes sense. Copying the eye is the easy way to do things, but I'm trying to avoid that if I can today. I think the other thing too is like I draw my eyes a little small, and maybe that's probably like a bit of a problem. Maybe like this is fine. Yeah, I think I draw my eyes a little small. Hello, Steve. Good evening. How are you doing, comrade? God, who's ready for Rabbit and Steel? Who's ready to become a Rabbit and Stealer? I can't wait. Okay, so thankfully this is why I like digital, because I can at least adjust this the way whatever I need to do. This is the power of digital manipulation. This is how people were editing images before the existence of AI. Good God. Did you see that Jensen Huang is getting bearish on OpenAI? It's so funny. I'm like, oh man, are we gonna see the bubble pop? Is AI gonna die? And then I realized, no, it's not, because there's gonna be people that are gonna keep propping up AI for the foreseeable future. So can't really do much about that. All right, this is probably fine. I don't actually like how the eyes look, but I think it's probably workable for now. Just enough to maybe get something, just to get something like on the page, right? Better to have something than not anything at all. A Rabbit and Steel. Yeah, Rabbit Steel. Yeah, it'll probably pop. RAM prices won't drop. God, I wish RAM prices would drop. I basically have decided that I'm not going to be doing any PC upgrades this year after all, because of the ridiculous RAM prices that we're dealing with, and it's really unfortunate because I was hoping to do it, but nope, not anymore. Too pricey for me. Let's clean this up a little bit. Alright, and then let's just try to see what it looks like without the model. Oh gosh, yeah, that's really bad. That's fine, because I didn't draw the body properly anyways. That's fine. We're gonna have to do the clothes and stuff. Of course they won't. Why would they drop prices when supply improves? Because we can dream. I can huff my copium that says RAM prices and storage prices and all that stuff will drop eventually. But no, it won't, because Jensen Huang wants to remain the #1 GPU provider for all eternity. Only he can control the GPU market, no one else. All right. I'm gonna quickly just draw in the Yumi so I know exactly what I'm looking at here. So, at this height, the Yumi would probably just be straight. That's probably thicker. Be straight down. Just to, again, we're just trying to get an idea of like where the Yumi is. Technically, the way it is that the Yumi string, right? So the Yumi is actually a little twisted at this point. That's too thin. That'd be almost like a 60 brush. 50 brush is fine. So the Yumi is something like this, and it goes down to about. A fully drawn Yumi goes to about, I want to say it's like up to your, I want to say it's like, it's probably up to down here at most. And then it goes like way higher than this. And then so probably have to go, and then you have the string, which would be like a nice thin string like up here. Yeah, the string would be something comical like this. The strings on these are very, very long. And this would also have to be bent a little bit, like it's not exactly straight. But for now, let's just use this as an example. That's fine. I'll just lower the opacity of that so I have an idea what that is. Okay. Once the price of transfer COVID, this is all mark. We're going to see the same amount of change. Yeah, that's true. The inflation, the companies they want all that sick dosh. So they're going to keep the prices high forever and ever. That's the unfortunate reality of it. Let the Chinese save you? No. So I saw that the Chinese are making their own like RAM to kind of make up for the Western RAM crises, but I ain't trusted no Chinesium RAM. I refuse to touch that Chinesium material. It is not worth the risk. I'm telling you. Don't do it. Don't consume don't trust the Chinesium RAM. Let's try this out. My inflation mods arrest this tree. What do you mean inflation? What do you mean like arresting me for calling out inflation? I don't think the eyes are I don't think the eyes are drawn. I don't want it to look like that either. I think what it's gotta be is how it's gotta be. Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm like so specific on this sketch part, even though I know the sketch part really doesn't matter that much. I think the eyes are. I don't think I draw my eyes big enough. Like, unironically, I think whenever I draw, I think I just don't draw the eyes nearly as large as they should be, that you see on a lot of anime stuff, and I think that's my biggest problem. That's fine. It's fine for now. We'll roll with it. How does it look? Reversed. Oh my gosh, it looks so stupid. But the cheap RAM. I don't know. Are you willing to accept the fact that Xi Jinping will know everything about you? That they might take over your PC in the name of their wolf warrior diplomacy? Perhaps you're okay with that. I am not. I will not be trusting no Chinese RAM. If anything, what it should incentivize is that if Chinese RAM becomes ubiquitous and cheap, maybe it'll incentivize, all the other companies to maybe start releasing their stuff at cheaper prices and maybe make more of them so they don't get outcompeted by a government-backed industry process like China would. So, the Philippines is already a province of China. No, the Philippines is a province of America. Hoorah, America #1. Exactly. Control the Philippines with America money. Actually, I'm always amazed by like how many Filipino nurses are out there in not just China, but like around the world, like in every other country. Like I remember reading somewhere like a lot of hospitals in countries like Singapore and Malaysia would just completely collapse without Filipinos, and even like Japan and South Korea. Their medical systems would just collapse without Filipino, without Filipino nurses coming in to bolster their ranks, because the Philippines, essentially, like, the reason why this is because the Philippines provides, or has the option to provide, basically American grade level education for nursing. And so that's why a lot of Filipinos, you know, they take up nursing as a profession, because it makes money, right? And so that's why you see a lot of Filipinos become nurses, because it pays the bills and it gets them jobs and all that stuff. So it makes sense. I think the belt will go somewhere here, right? The buckle will go somewhere. I don't know. I am really bad at like conceptualizing 3D shapes, I think, and that's kind of like a big problem. Like, there should be a fat buckle belt thing here, which is like this thing, and then the belt would kind of go around the waist. Should be kind of skin tight, so maybe like here, and then on the other side, and then that's essentially like the uniform kind of like scrunching in under there. We should be able to see the uniform scrunch in on there, and then the rest is just kind of the skirt blowing out, following, I guess, the curvature of the butt, if that makes sense. I guess that would be fine, maybe, I don't know. I think I'm drawing this on the wrong layer. Yeah, it's on the wrong layer. Whatever, it's all gonna merge together anyways. That's fine. We'll that's fine. And then it should be like pleat. We'll do the pleats later. I don't want to do the pleats right now. Also, for the chance to hook up with a hot doctor. Is that how that works? Is that why the Filipinos do it? Filipino nurses, they go to the school so they can go to the foreign country, and then they can hook up with the rich man to get the green card, and then they can get the citizenship in the US, and then they can go divorce their marriage tourism husband. I actually saw that the other day, where it's like a Filipino lady married an American dude for like 5 years. As soon as she got her citizenship, she's just like, I'm out, peace. She's like, bye. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just like fleeced the poor guy. Alright, let's get all these in the same layer here. Okay. I'm gonna try something. We're gonna try to draw the head now, because I kind of got the general idea of what I want to do. And we'll see how it pans out. But I don't expect this piece to look very good, but it's just more like getting back into the flow of drawing art. If you want, again, you can interrupt me if you really want a book summary on any series that I've read before, but don't expect a good summary. You'll just expect to get a summary. Because, like I said, I opened up my files earlier, and I was greeted with this. And I was like, what am I looking at? And I was like, oh right, I had that fever dream where I talked about Fourth Wing. Again, Book Talk just comes out with like all these like crazy stories. And I remember Ray said like, oh, I'm gonna start reading this book. And I was like, isn't that a Book Talk book? And she's like, yeah. And then I found a summary of it. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of genital smashing in that book series, which seems to be a very common theme among Book Talk anything for some reason. And I think it's just because Book Talk people just like, I mean, sex sells, so it makes sense. I just think it's kind of funny that it's just the norm now in like Book Talk spaces of like, yeah, we gotta have like the not safe for work content to really get people to buy this. Need to talk about Chinese novels. I don't know if Ray reads Chinese novels, but maybe she does. I have no idea. You'd have to ask her. She usually tells me about like whatever murder mystery that she's reading, and it's like, all right, well, just as long as you're not reading those books so you can plan how to murder me, that'd be great. Because I don't want my wife to be killing me in the middle of the night because she got some crazy idea of how to get away with it from reading some murder mystery book. You know what I mean? Right, Ray? You're not gonna kill me, I hope. I would hope she's not. I don't remember how to draw this. I think this is fine. We'll do like this. My art is so inconsistent. I wish I could be consistent. Ugh. Maybe one day I'll get better. Alright, and then we'll just go in the back here. I forgot she has a ponytail, right? Yeah, she actually does have a ponytail. That's funny. Okay. What am I talking about? Is Western Lit RPG. The thing is, I don't read Western Lit RPG. I have so many... Okay, so I know there's a lot of them on Royal Road, but my biggest complaint that I always have with Lit RPG is... and I find this super lazy, and I don't know if it's just me, but my biggest complaint is that, okay, there's basically two things I'm complaining about, like, Lit RPG. Okay, so essentially, there's two ways that people, two ways they do skills, right? So you either have method 1, where you have like level, and then you have like your skills, right? Like you have attack. Well, there's like 3 ways. Like you have attack, then you have, you know, defense, you know, magic, luck, and all that stuff. And then this just basically becomes a stats sheet, like Lit RPG, where the numbers just go up. Like, I remember, and it's not just Western, it's also like Eastern ones too. Like, I remember reading one, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like, the dude was like, I'm level 2, but all my stats are like 10 and 15 and 12, and, you know, these can only max out so high, and that determines your lot in life. And then it's like, oh, but my luck stat is like 999,000 million. And then as soon as he levels up, then he goes to like level 3. And then like all these stats go up to like infinite. And I'm like, what is this stupid series? I'm like, but I was reading it anyways because I consume garbage apparently for fun. And then like the other way that people do like Lit RPG, and I think this is the one I hate. I think this one I don't like as much, but I think this one might be it's like at least a little more interesting. Is the one where it's like, you know, if you kill a bad guy, right? You kill like a slime. Oh my god, this thing is not working. You know, you kill like a slime or something here, right? And he's just dead. And then for whatever reason, as soon as you kill him, you, the player or the reader or the main character, you know, absorbs his power into your body, right? And then I guess you now have like poison invulnerability for killing the slime. And then you just keep eating all these different monsters. Like, oh, you killed I don't know how to draw a dragon. How do I draw a dragon? Right? And then you see you have like a little dragon, and he's like gonna burn you with fire, and he's like, ah, fire. But then you kill the dragon, right? Now the dragon's dead. And then suddenly you have the ability to breathe fire because you killed the dragon. I'm like, this is so stupid, but I'm like, it's kind of funny at least. At least it's somewhat amusing. I think this is actually Slime Tensei. I believe this is the Slime Tensei method, and this is like most other ones. Quite frankly, my biggest gripe with Lit RPG is I want to read fantasy most of the time, and I don't really want to see stat screens. I think that's the biggest issue with a lot of Lit RPG, is that they're so centered on the fabled stat screen all the time. How are you doing, Cruising? And that's like, it becomes like the whole focal point. I think the worst ones, and the ones that I hate the most, is where there's a disembodied voice that quote-unquote represents like the administrator, the AI, or like the game master or something, that talks directly to the main character and will do something like, congratulations, you've leveled up. You've now unlocked the ability to have you've now unlocked the ability to breathe fire. And then usually what it is, like, that AI is gonna be like some snarky sidekick companion that's just gonna be obnoxious throughout the rest of the series, where it's like, wow, congratulations, you've defeated that dragon. Wasn't so hard with my help, was it? And things like that. Like, it happens a lot, and I'm like, I don't want that. Most of the time I just want to read fantasy or science fiction. There's a reason why I mostly read science fiction and not fantasy, and why I don't read a lot on like Royal Road, because a lot of Royal Road is like this. Like, there's a lot of like power cultivation stuff, and like Western and Eastern stuff are like Lit RPG is not the only one that does this. Like, Chinese novels do this all the time too. Like wuxia ones are like the biggest offender, where it's like you start off as, you know, like you're gonna start off as like, you know, like level 1 on Earth. But then you have to go on a quest, and then now you're like on level 2, and it's like the first heaven, right? And then you get slightly stronger. And then you repeat this process a whole bunch of times, and now you're at like level, let's say, 4, and you're on like the Jade realm. And then you go kill like your arch rival or something, right? In a glorious sword fight. Like that. Haha, and then your rival's dead. And then you have to go kill another person, and it just keeps going over and over again. And by the time you're done with this whole story, you're like at level 57, and you're part of the third lightning. I don't know how I can't write lightning for some reason. Lightning, Jade, Heaven, Eternal realm. And for some reason you are like now like Goku, and you are super powered, and I don't know, I guess you fly and stuff like that. So yeah, cultivation stories get really stupid, but that's the whole point. Like, I'm bragging on it, and there's a reason I don't read it, but that's the whole point. Like, it's supposed to be a power fantasy. Like, really, a lot of these things is that it's just a power fantasy that people enjoy. And there's no wrong reason to read that. People play video games because they want to be in a power fantasy. People read stories because they want to be in a power fantasy. People read book talk because they want to be in a power fantasy and also have sexual relations with the different characters that appear in those series. Like, there is multiple reasons why you will consume this media. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't want to consume it. And that's the reason why I complain about it. Like, that's why I don't read most of these. Like, a lot of these stories it's just kind of whatever. But there's a reason, but it's popular for a reason. There's a reason why people consume, like, the silliest forms of media ever. And it's fine. People want to read a story about how about, like, dragon girls and stuff like that. More power to them. Not for me, but it's definitely for someone. I don't know how to draw cat ears. I know these cat ears are never going to be consistent, by the way. I feel like I cannot draw consistent cat ears ever. I think that was fine. I think this is okay. This is probably a very bad way of drawing it, but that's okay. We'll make it look cleaner later. So yeah, I think Sword Art Online was kind of one of those things. You read your first romance, it was funny, and you're definitely an ace. And at least you know what you are. Okay, at least the nice thing about fiction is that it can help you discover what kind of person you are and maybe what kind of things you enjoy, and that's fine. I think that's good. If you find that reading stuff like that helps you to learn more about yourself, more power to you. I read garbage, and I'm willing to admit that I read garbage. Alright, we're gonna at least give it a slight angle so it doesn't look like it's completely flat, and I think that's okay. I don't know if we'll give her the hat. Actually, no. Adjust this real quick. I'm gonna do it more like... I think like that is probably correct. I don't know, I guess it's fine. Let's just roll with this for now until I can think how to make this a little better. My perspective is a little messed up, and I don't know how to fix it, so we'll roll with it. And I know this is mostly gonna be blocked by the hand, but I still want to draw the hair so I have an idea of like what I'm looking at. Oh, it's gotta go down further. Oh, it goes down here. Okay. Okay, that's okay. You read recyclable garbage? I mean, there's nothing wrong about reading garbage. Just be aware that you are consuming trash. I consume trash. A lot of people are into romance and smut. I mean, maybe people just like they want to get their rocks off, and that's fine too. Well, why not make a CYOA? Because CYOAs take time to make. And again, the whole point is that you have a dedicated story with like a start, end, finish. sometimes, and there's like a plot to follow. Because sometimes people aren't creative and they don't want to create the plot in their head, so they'd rather just read what someone else has written. And sometimes they can get kind of interesting. I've seen some, stuff like lit RPGs that are like, okay, this has maybe some chops that it could be somewhat interesting. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna go on Royal Road now because I want to see what people are writing. Let's see. Let's go on Royal Road. God, I still have their old URL bookmarked, which was like back when they were called Royal Road L. All right, what do we got here? Isekai is a lord of the manor. I'ma be a speedster. Okay, the Archmage is baking now. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's a lot of these like slice of lifey ones now nowadays, where it's just like you take X plus Y and just mash them together. Like this one is someone who is now a baker, and she lives a cozy life. I think the one thing I also hate is a lot of people on Royal Road use Gen AI for their covers, and it's just like I don't want to say like it's obvious, but there are some that you can kind of look at them like that looks a lot like Gen AI. There's one about John Brown. I don't know if I read that one. It's been a while since I really read anything off of Royal Road. Actually, I'm kind of curious. I haven't actually like posted anything on Royal Road in forever. I used to enjoy writing a lot, but it's just been like something I've kind of put to the back burner after all these different things. I remember I like even subscribed. Yeah. Oh wow, this one has 1 favorite. Crazy. And 5 followers, and that's as far as it ever got. So, good times. What's Royal Road? It's basically a website where people post web fiction and, for people to read. Kind of like, you want to be like a web novelist, then you kind of post there. It's very popular. People, if they get, well known enough, they actually end up self-publishing on something like Amazon, or getting like a book deal or something like that. So there's a lot of opportunities there. I don't know how to draw the eyes. I need to figure out how I'm going to draw these eyes. Drawing eyes is difficult, especially if we're like kind of squinting. Maybe we go more like this. Maybe we could go like thinner. Yeah. And that might be fine. And then we got to draw the rest of the eye too. I'm going to follow the bottom line here. It's not a fanfiction website. Fanfiction is if you want to go to fanfiction.net. This is like original content. Like, imagine you wrote a story, right? And it's not fanfiction. It's like an original story with your own characters and everything, and you want other people to read it. You would post it on Royal Road, especially if it's like kind of vaguely anime-esque. Now, you can post web, fanfiction on there. Like, there is people who do. So you do have that as an option. I don't like how that looks. I think part of the problem, part of my issue is I use way too thick of a brush, and I think I need to start using like a thinner brush to maybe have a little bit more control over my lines. That's definitely an issue that I'm running into. So I'm gonna start trying to use thinner brushes and just see how that pans out. I don't think I like how the head looks, honestly, but we'll roll with it for now. Oh, you know what? I think I see the issue. These cat ears should be higher. 1, I think they should be a little bigger. 2, they should be a little higher up. Like that, I think is fine. Yeah. I think overall, I think the head just in general needs to be a little bit more away from the body. I love digital manipulation. I think that looks a little better, and then we'll go here as well. Move this one just about here. That's really not relevant because it's going to get erased, or it's going to be hidden by the hand. Just again, trying to get an idea of where things go. So that's essentially what those websites are. Kind of, it's good if you like that type of thing, but... Oh, I love this track. I think I know almost most of the lyrics of this, which is crazy. If you don't know, this song is sung by the VTuber Akira, and she's like a Filipino VTuber, very multilingual, and yeah, she sings a lot of stuff like this. And she actually got like the map theme. I'm a sucker for boss music that has lyrics, and especially if it's like just not expected, like this is basically bossa nova. I can't sing. I'm so sorry, I can't sing. My singing is awful. I think I know what I need to do. I need to make the face smaller. I want to try to make it cuter, so I'm trying to make the face a little thinner. I think I made it a little too long because I think the 3D model is trying to make it a little too realistic. So we're gonna make it cuter by shrinking it down a little bit, and then we can add like the face. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait for this DLC. I am a sucker for boss fight video games, and honestly, the 3 new characters they're adding is going to be so much fun. I've been looking forward to this DLC for quite some time. I hope this looks right. This looks a little janky, but I'm going to hope this is going to at least be okay. Alright, and then for the arm, because I know Xanth was like, not the armpits. Listen, people have armpits. The only people who make armpits weird are the people who are like, what if we just sexualize every aspect of a character design? Silence, fool. Not everything has to be degenerate. Okay, there's a time for degeneracy, and it's not everywhere. Embrace, just having cool designs without having to make it, sexual. You know what I mean? They announced Grand Blue Fantasy Relink DLC, finally more content. I have never played Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I'm aware of some Grand Blue Fantasy stuff because I have some friends that like are really into Grand Blue Fantasy. And I think some of the characters are kind of cute. But I don't really know much else about Grand Blue Fantasy aside from the fact, like, besides the common knowledge ones like Jita, Gran. I did play the fighting game when it first came out, and I became a Narmaya main. I think that's her name, the draft sword lady, because I'm a sucker for swords. And she had like, I don't know, she was like, I remember it was really funny because she's like, what, 135 centimeters tall, and her sword is like taller than her for some reason. So the way she has to carry her sword is that it's like completely to the side. So she's, it's like person, and then the sword is just held at her side. She's got her hands on the sword like this at all time. Like, and I'm like, this thing is so comical, but I'm like, I love it. I'm a sucker for that. Big weapons are fun, all right? Embrace large weapons. I think it's hilarious. See your face. Only you'd give me your gaze. You have it all. Hands and small and tall. Oh, that I seem tall. Okay, so specifically for here, one thing I need to keep in mind is, so the glove for the 2 fingers, by the way, is a glove proper that covers both fingers. So we're gonna start erasing around the hand, just because I need that for show the glove, which is supposed to be like you can be whatever color you want, but mine is tan personally. One of these days I'd like to show a photo of my Kudo gear, so you can kind of see like what the stuff looks like aside from just the Yumi. But it is interesting if you're into like martial arts and stuff like that. I think it looks something, yeah, I think it's supposed to look like this, and then you have the individual fingers, which will keep it simple. This is not like an exact perfect pose, at least based on my understanding of how this should look, but it's fine. It's acceptable. Oh my gosh, this is so bad I can't draw. It's good enough. All right, and then I don't know how to do the other hand. We'll see. Actually, the other book series, I do know one book series very well, and it's like the Zero no Tsukaima series, which I'm still... If you've never read Zero no Tsukaima, it's definitely one of these series of all times, but one thing that's very interesting about ZNT is that the author passed away before the final book. The final 2 books came out. I think he ended up having cancer. And so he had to give his notes to like a co-author to finish the books for him, which I think was really sad, but obviously the man was dying and he needed someone to, you know, take it from him, so that the fans can have a closure, which is a lot better than whatever the heck George R.R. Martin is doing. The man has basically said, yeah, so anyways, if I die, no one is ever gonna see the finale of Game of Thrones unless I finish writing the books before I die. I'm like, this man is all right, buddy. Now, granted, that's his right as an author to prevent others from finishing his works if he doesn't want them to finish it. But man, that's gonna suck if after all this time, people waiting decades for him to finish the books, he's just like, bye, I'm dead. But the dude's also like what, quite obese and in his 70s. I'm still of the crackpot theory that he's already finished the books. I'm of the crackpot idea that he's finished the books and he's just waiting until he dies before they publish it so that no one can give him grief on what he's written. I don't know if that's crazy talk, but I think that's what it is, because I think everyone was so mad about the ending to the TV show because the showrunners for the TV show basically cocked it up by not doing a very good job. And so the solution is to, well, just die and then release it, and then no one can complain to him about the ending. And I'm like, all right, well, that is a choice that he can make. Is it a good choice? That's entirely up to your interpretation. I would say not the worst idea if you don't want to have to deal with angry fans. But man, the guy is still working on like Elden Ring and his other novellas. The Game of Thrones is not finished, but TV, yes. Oh my gosh, that's one of the biggest problems. So the last book he wrote was like what was the last one he wrote? Was it I think it was Dance with Dragons, and that was like in 2011. The 6th book, Winds of Winter, was supposed to be the finale. Well, he split into 2 books. There's Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring, and he kept saying that, oh, you know, Winds of Winter will be coming out any day now for the last like decade and a half, and it hasn't come out yet, so who knows at this point. If the book comes out, it'll be a miracle, truly. I cannot draw straight lines. I'm so sorry that people have to watch me be bad at art. Maybe one day I'll get good and develop my own cool style. I will always apologize for being bad at art, because I suck. Ha 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 ha. That's fine. Maybe I need to embrace like the more bad lines. So the pit's like around here, right? So the pit probably be, if it's all straight up, it should probably be more like this. Yeah, it's not gonna be straight, obviously. That's fine, we'll roll with this. This is gonna look so bad. But yeah, the TV series finished because, I mean, the actors weren't getting any younger, and they can't keep waiting for George R.R. Martin to keep writing the things if he's gonna take forever to write them. So he essentially gave them, here's the plot points, here's the ending, good luck. Like, he told them this is exactly how it's supposed to end. At least the major points. And this is, wait, no, that's not, what the heck? Okay, so no, the thumb should be over. The thumb should be over these fingers. Although, hold on, that doesn't make sense. How is this being held? Hold on, if you're holding a Yumi, give me 1 second. I'm like looking at this example hand, and it doesn't make sense to me. Give me 1 moment. I'm literally trying to find something tubular to hold so I can kind of hold it myself. So if you're going, okay, so hold on, give me 1 second. So if you're going because you gotta do Hasetsu. So okay, so it's actually okay. So at this point you are Uchiyokoshi, Ikiwake. So this would be okay. So I think at this post is Hikiwake, so we're not full draw, which makes sense. This is So if you don't know, essentially like there's multiple steps that you have to do for Kyudo. So right now, I think this one is in what we call Hikiwake, which is one arm is out here, but the other arm is kind of like up here. So you're not at like a full draw yet. You're kind of like at a you're beginning the process of drawing the Yumi, if that makes sense. I think that's correct. Yeah, so this one is more, gosh, this actually should be way tall. It should be like this. Yumis are comically tall, by the way. Keep that in mind. Yumis are hilariously tall. I think I posted a screenshot or a photo of my Yumi, and the thing is like 7.5 feet tall. It is it is quite large. But that's how martial arts typically works anyways. Yeah, because this is still at her head, so that would make sense, because Kai would be more this arm would be way further back. Yeah, so this is at Hikiwake, Kai, and then Hanare. Yeah, that's fine. I do enjoy Kyudo. Like, it is actually a very enjoyable activity for me. But this thing is not. Your arm's not quiverable for drawing that. My hand, this hand for me is what quivers. My right arm, the one that's drawing, is usually okay. But the left hand that's holding the Yumi is actually the one that gets way more tired. Because the best way to I don't have a hand to do this, but real quick, like, okay, so imagine this is your hand, right? When you're drawing, the Yumi's not straight up like this. It's more kind of like, okay, like imagine this like your arm and this is your hand, right? And this is the Yumi here, right? So it goes up and down. It's not like this at all. Like, really what's actually happening when you're drawing this is it's more, your hand becomes kind of like tilted forward, if that makes sense, slightly, because the Yumi is at an angle like this, and so your hand here gets tired, you know, fairly quickly, surprisingly, as you're holding on to it. And on top of that, one finger, usually like your index finger, is pointed out, right? Because you're using that to help you aim the Yumi. And then you have usually your ya, which is the arrow, like resting on here. And if you're drawing it all the way, it should be, yeah, it should be like almost like right about here. So it's it is a lot to draw. So just keep that in mind. Like what you're seeing here is she's getting ready to pull the draw, but it's not fully out there. In fact, in this case, it'd be more like, it's more like this. It's not fully drawn yet. But I was like looking at this, I'm like, I think the thumb should be like above. Yeah, I don't know why they draw the, or actually no, I think it's just like, I think it's just clipping. That's just clipping, because the thumb is more like, okay, I see the issue. So the way it should be is like the thumb is more like coming out like here. I'm literally looking at my own hand as I'm drawing this to try to get an idea. Something like that, I think, is correct. And then because it goes over your fingers here. I want to make the fingers thinner. It's supposed to be a anime character. Anime characters have thinner hands, right? Something like that is probably correct. And then your main finger out here probably is pointing outwards as best as you can. Some people do bend it, but I try to keep mine straight. Yeah, I personally keep my I personally keep it straight. So it would be something like you would rotate it. Yeah, I guess you could do it like this, but I don't really want it. This is kind of messy. Okay, maybe it's actually fine. All right. Yeah, let's roll with that. That's okay. Okay, cool. But hey, hopefully you're learning a little bit more about Japanese archery. It's a very cool activity if you're willing to put the effort into it, but it is definitely not easy. How do I get rid of this thing? Yeah. Hopefully you're learning a little bit. Let's go back to this and go back to this layer, and then get the finger out a little bit more. I definitely am not drawing it well, but I'm trying, because this is going to be like a bit here. Maybe we can draw it like a little more straight. I'll try to clean the hand up in a bit. I have never been good at drawing hands, so forgive me. Oh my god, it looks really bad. Oh my goodness, how do I draw hands? Okay. Oh my god, hold on. Because you'd end up with like... Because this covers the fingers, and then you'd have... Okay, so this would be like a pit here. So this would be more... Erase this. Okay, so something along the lines more of... Okay, so I think it would look something like this. Kind of. I don't know. How do I draw hands? Hands are hard. Hands are difficult, but we'll come back to this later. Alright, she has glasses, right? So I'm just gonna put the glasses on a separate layer just so I don't mess this up a little too much. Try drawing a smaller brush. I do Kudo with my glasses on because I'm a blind individual and I don't need to be even more blind as I'm trying to shoot a bow, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's fine. So then we can go same on this side. You know what I should have been doing this whole time that I haven't been doing? I should have been flipping the canvas around. Oh no, it's doing that thing where if you flip the canvas around, it looks awful. Oh gosh, what a curse. I hate it when this happens. Yeah, alright. I knew it was gonna look bad. It's the eyes. I can tell the eyes look awful. Let's take this eye here. Oh my gosh, I forgot it's all on the same layer, so I have to kind of figure out how to manipulate this without ruining it too much. Hello, Havel, good evening. If I just move it slightly out, I think it's probably a little bit better. That's a little better. Okay, that's fine. We'll roll with that. Welcome aboard, Hal. Hopefully you've been doing good and you're not suffering too much. How have you been? Welcome to I Attempt to Do Art, the stream. I am trying and it's not working out too well, but we're making it work, kind of. Alright, and then we'll erase this line here. I'm kind of just doing it all in one sketch layer because I'm a little lazy, so I just kind of want to see if I can pull it off. But it looks like it might be fine. It's just not perfect, obviously, because Lamau bad at art. Oh, that's on that other layer, isn't it? Okay. I just want to usually do the face on a separate layer. Ugh. Okay, so we can just draw the rest of this out. So we'll just go all the way down here. And then we'll just do a line here to represent the glasses, and that should be okay. Haven't been sleeping well, but you've been doing sleep study. Oh my gosh, do you have the sleep apnea? I hear that's the thing now. People have the sleep apneas. Hope you'll be okay, Havel. Just hopefully your sleep study goes well. I've always wondered if I had sleep apnea, but I never bothered getting tested because I'm too lazy to get tested for that. All right, what else do I want to listen to? Ooh, One Step from Eden. That's a game that definitely existed at one point in time. God, I hate being stuck on video game music only, or anime music. Alright, Girls on Panzer. That's fine. As long as I'm not choosing those stupid random vibe mixes, then I should be okay. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. But yeah, hopefully your sleep study goes well, Havel. I think that's okay. We'll roll with this. Talk of Alexander and some of Hercules. All the brave heroes, there's none that can compare to the of the British Grenadiers. I don't know. I once got really addicted to this song and I started just singing it all the time to this specific version. On you the force of powder to slay their foes withal. Okay. Yeah, because I don't know how to... This is mostly like... There's also an exercise in clothes folds too, so keep that in mind. I'm using this to like also learn how clothes folding works. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, this looks really bad. Maybe I should have just stuck to anime portraits instead. Oh, maybe this is a little too advanced for me to tackle. Whatever, I'm already at least knee deep in this. Might as well attempt to commit. You know what? Let's just not do anything below this line. I remember the lyrics somewhat. I don't want to look at the 3D model. I think the 3D model, yeah. I think part of the problem is I'm not able to like really capture the depth of this. You know what? Hold on, I have an idea. I saw this person do... I'm gonna try something. I saw someone do this once, and I'm like, maybe this will help me kind of visualize the depth of things, and that might make it a little easier. Let's make this a little whiter. And I'm gonna pull up a gray tone. And what I'm gonna do, if this terrible idea works, is I'm gonna color in everything. Okay. I saw someone do this once and I'm like, that's a cool concept. That's a little too dark. Let's pull up something a little lighter. Okay, so then what you can do with this is I should be able to just take a darker tone now, right? And then I can kind of fill in the area. Okay, I'm gonna do another layer. This is kind of just get the shading idea. So we'll make this a clipping layer. Take the same color tone. Oops, I'll make this full opacity. Like this. Copy this color. Bring it back down. And then we're gonna go switch this to a multiply. And then I can probably fill in like areas like this, so I know like this is supposed to be darker, right? And then I can just use the guideline of this, so I can kind of get an idea of like depth and stuff. Because if you look at like just a plain, what's it called? model, it's gonna be really easy to like get lost. By doing this, at least I have an idea of like where things are supposed to maybe be. Yeah, because like basically it's like get the shading in kind of now. And then you can always erase this and just, it's mostly just to get a guide, right? Something like this is probably correct here. Yeah, like that probably makes it makes it a little easier to like kind of observe as you're trying to work on it, I think. Like that. Ooh, what if it's like, oh, you know what? Hold on, I kind of like that. Wait, that looks kind of sick, actually. So like if the lighting was... Hold on. So it'd be like under here would probably be darker. They're trying to draw like the boob line, I guess is the best way to describe it. I think this actually helps a lot. Hello there, Bang Bang. Also, hello, Garm. Yes, it's a Kudo pose. I just don't know how to draw the hands is the main problem because I'm terrible with hands. But I'm trying to get an idea of like what the lighting looks like, so that's why we're doing this little temporary exercise. Because it just looks like a blob is the problem. I think it's because I don't know how to like draw clothing, like folds on clothes is like the other big problem too. This is Panzerlied right now, yeah. Let me look at maybe I should just look at an example of someone doing a Kudo pose, and that might help me a lot with trying to determine like, okay, like kind of where the folds go. Anyways, how are you, Garm? Oh, did that end already? Oh, it did end. Oh wait, here we go. The entire Girls and Panzer songs you can march to official soundtrack, all at 120 beats per minute. Fantastic. I don't want to listen to Panzerlied. Let's skip to British Grenadiers. Alexander and some of Hercules, of Hector and Lysander, and such great names as these. But of all the world's brave heroes, there's none that can compare with a dow to the British Grenadiers. Joseph Antiquity ne'er saw a cannonball, or knew the force of powder to slay their foes withal. But our brave boys do know it and banish all their fears with a dow to the British Grenadiers. And banish all their fears with a dow to the British Grenadiers. There we are commanded to storm the palisades. Our leaders march with fuses and we with hand grenades. We throw them from the glassy about the enemy's ears with a dow British Grenadiers. Glassy about the enemy's ears with a dow British Grenadiers. I'm trying to find like an example of like someone in a Kudo draw pose. Oh my gosh. I found this when looking for examples. All right, I guess we're using Oyama Mashiro from the hit anime Onimai as my example. It's not even a proper Yumi. What is that? It's like a stick. I mean, it's like a baby Yumi, but it just seems wrong size. That's kind of funny, though. I'm trying to find an example of someone in Hikiwake, and I cannot find... Oh, actually, wait, I found one. But it's all side-angled. That's fine. The leopard one being the spirited tiger. Listen, if you ever get into an argument with a wereaboo, just don't. Because there's always going to be some wereaboo out there who's like, how dare you not accept the superiority of the taiga? If the Germans only had 15 more billion more Tiger tanks or Tigers, they could have destroyed all of the Allied forces and won World War II. And I'm just like, dude, the Tiger was so unreliable. Shut the fuck up. There's a reason why Germany lost, and it wasn't because they couldn't make enough Tigers. It was just because the Tiger wasn't efficient. Do you keep your arms straight with these? Okay, so you know what? Here, it's probably easier if I just show you, like how Kudo works. Is probably the easiest way to do it. Let me find an example, and it's probably easier that way. So Kudo is unique because the way you do it. Here. Okay, so Kudo. Okay, hold on. So here's Kudo, right? So there's essentially a couple steps, right? So step one is you get into position, right? This is called hasetsu. Basically, your feet are kind of moving into position, and the way that looks like from like a top-down perspective is going to be something like, so your feet start like this, right? Your left and right feet are kind of like in this position. So what's going to happen is this foot's going to go here. Right? And then this foot's gonna kind of follow along and then go back. So it's more like so then foot 2 goes like 1 1 2. So now you're in like a wide stance, like around here. So it'll look something like I'm really bad at drawing this, but it because the angle, I'm not getting the angle right. But now you're kind of like in this position. Oh wait, you can't see it. It's like this now. Now you're in like kind of this position after your second foot does like its thing. So that's called ashibumi, and that's called getting your. It's basically getting your feet, because ashi means feet, right? So it's getting your. And then now this is dozukuri, which is you're trying to get your body in the right position and also preparing your ya. So it's kind of hard to see on this image here, but what's happening is he has two arrows, one facing forward and one facing backwards, parallel to each other, holding them both with one hand. What's going to happen at this point is he's going to take the one that's facing backwards, and then using the pinky of the hand that's not holding the yumi, or that's the one that's the arm that's going to draw, basically this one, right? He's going to take that ya and put it into holding it here. So essentially, like in this position, the way if I was shooting this, my ya would be like here, like it's like in this hand while I'm also drawing the yumi. It's really awkward, and I hate doing this, but this is the way it's done, at least the way I'm taught how to do it. So and then after that you have what's called yugamai. So you can see like he's holding it in his pinky. That's now, and he's got his gloved hand. Oh, I drew this wrong, by the way. I somehow messed this up completely. I forgot the wait, no, did I do it right? No, this is right, because it's the thumb. Wait. Yeah, that's right. Okay, no, I'm correct. Okay. I was halfway. Okay, let me take a look in a second. Okay, that's good. Thank you. I will use that. Oh, yeah, she's using the thing. I know exactly which image this is. Okay, so in this step, this is called Yugamai, so he's getting ready. And he's essentially knocking. There's multiple steps to this, and it's mentioned here, like Torikake and Tenouchi. And Monomi, although this is just whatever. This is like one I haven't really done too much. This is basically just like looking at this, like basically just feeling the target, right? Torikake is knocking the yumi, and then Tenouchi is like how you're holding the yumi in your main hand, and like in your left hand, right? So assuming you draw with your right and you hold the yumi with your left, Torikake is knocking your glove, and then Tenouchi is extending your arm as you hold the yumi, and then you can see now this uchi-yokoshi. So basically, you know when they do like the lifting it super high up phase, and then that's what this is. They're holding it high up, trying to keep it straight, and then while you're looking at the target the whole time. Then you go into hikiwake, which is the step that I'm trying to draw. Right? So from this step, what's essentially happening is your left and your right hand are kind of both moving forward a little bit, but especially the left hand. And you're getting through like a half draw at hikiwake. Right? So you're kind of like in a full now, and then at this point you're also going to start drawing the bow fully. Basically, the way I remember it was like, there's like, Daisan is what we call like moving to the half draw, in a sense, kind of. And then you start to do the full draw. And then once you're in the full draw, you're in what's called kai. And then at this point, you release when you're ready to release, right? So that's when you release, and then you go into hanare, which is basically this pose where they, the arm is extended out and the yumi ideally spins around. And then you go to your closing step, which is like, as you know, like here. If you want to see like a video of like what this actually looks like, let me just pull up one real quick so you can kind of see and understand. Because I find Kyudo very interesting. So let's pull up Kyudo. And I'll show you a nice example of how this works. So let's see if I can find, like, here's a nice one. Right? Yep, so there is Daisan, Ikiwake, Kai, and then release, Hanare, and then this, you can see the Yumi spin, right? Like, hold on. You can see the Yumi spin, like, around. Let's see if I can do it here. Can I maneuver by frame, or is that not a thing anymore? I think YouTube might have gotten rid of that feature. Okay. So she's ready. I'm moving frame by frame. It's very fast, and you can see like how the string is on her right, and then the Yumi spins around as she releases, and the string is now on her left side. And that's how it's supposed to be. I've never been able to get it to spin. I'm not that good. But that's essentially like the vibe, or I guess how it's supposed to look, right? So one more time. Yep, so there we go. Daisan, Iwake, Kai, release. Yeah, if you do it very clean, it's gonna sound clean. If you do it poorly, it's gonna sound poor. But that's essentially how it works. I think it's very cool. My Yumi was really expensive though. I think my Yumi was like some $700. God, it sucks paying that much, but that's how much you gotta pay. In this image that Garm sent me, by the way, young people who start doing, or like beginner Kyudo practitioners, they do start with this, what's called a Gomokyu, which is like a rubber Yumi, like practice tool. And you can kind of get the idea of like how you're supposed to hold the Yumi and practice with that. So I actually have one of these myself. It's even got the same rubber color, which is really funny. I don't know if they all look the same, but mine also has an orange rubber. And it kind of helps you get practice with how this is set up. Like, so she's already like at full draw in this example, and she's getting ready to release. Now, obviously, this is kankole, so it's a lot more stylized. Because in kankole, all the Japanese carriers are Kyudo practitioners, like it's archery. And yeah, I should commission art of me drawing or in Kyudo, because it's something that I actually do, and I'm very happy. I'm very, very glad it's a skill that I have somehow picked up for some reason. All right, I don't remember what like half of these are for. No, wait, where are these coming from? I think it's easier if I draw the Yumi. It probably makes it a little easier to kind of spot what the heck I'm doing. place a better club. But yeah, that's kind of the how Kudo and stuff works. Hopefully you enjoyed that little little side discussion. I hope people are able to at least appreciate Japanese martial arts. I think one that I did at one point, and I kind of wish I could pick it up again, but there's nowhere near me that does it, is Naginata, which is something that I also did at one point. I've done a lot of martial arts in my life because, I don't know, it's just something that I've been doing for a very long time. It's just something that I guess just that I do. Actually, wait, why am I worrying so much about this? I forgot, like, most of the hand is kind of covered by the Yumi itself. I'm gonna try to freehand the Yumi instead of relying on tools to draw it for me. If I can get mostly parallel lines, I think that'd be great. Yeah, because I think most of this would be covered up by the Yumi regardless. Yeah, I'm overthinking this. I do like the Hoi 4 version of Katyusha because it's so dramatic. Like, oh my gosh, it's like, it's heavy, right? Like, you feel it. Alright, there we go. That's probably fine. You know what game I haven't played in a long time that I kind of want to download again? Not XCOM. I'm vaguely tempted to download War Thunder after being shown some War Thunder memes that the official account has been posting. And I'm like, do I want to play this weird game again? Do I want to fall back down this accursed rabbit hole? And I'm like, I really shouldn't, but it's there. It's tempting me. It's tempting me. You know what? Screw this. I'm gonna use tools. This is why we have tools anyways, right? Why not use the tools that we have? Oh shoot, that's right. I forgot this thing doesn't work with... It's not perfect, but... And it should be curved anyways, but I don't want to curve it right now. Just kind of get the idea down. Because at this point... Oh, I should have been drawing this on a separate layer. Actually, I should have been doing this on this layer here. How's it going? You want for Quiet Dream, I'm going to get snack because there's nothing but veggies left. Do you not like veggies? Welcome back, Kahila. I'm trying to draw stuff. The string would be like around... Hold on. The string here would be somewhere around here. I'm trying to like guesstimate, so it would be kind of high up, like maybe here. And then the lower string would be like... Because at this stage, it's probably like... It's half draw. It's not Daisan, but it's like Hikuake. So... It probably is at our legs, right? So so I think the string actually has to go... You have to assume the string goes all the way up to like here almost. And then the lower string would go approximately here. I think, yeah. I mean, things are worth... I don't know, it's better try than League. You'll happily take credit for that. I mean, that's fair. But my friends also want to play League. You won't snack on lettuce with sweet brew. You do like veggie, but you can't imagine 5-leaf salad when you're... Okay, fair enough. Yeah, maybe eating a salad with a crammy latte. What's a crammy latte? I don't know. I think it's War Thunder that has the monetized ammo system, but I don't like World of Tanks because it's too arcadey. War Thunder is like... I can't believe I know this. This is like a Japanese like war march. But Girls and Panzer makes everything sound adorable. But yeah, I don't like World of Tanks because it's super like arcadey, where vehicles have HP bars, and I think vehicles having HP bars is stupid. It just makes more sense if you hit them in the critical spot, they explode. It's the frustrating part about War Thunder, but it's also the appropriate thing in War Thunder. I think it actually makes a lot more sense now that I put like all these different lines here to kind of get an idea of like where things are supposed to be. I don't know where any of my layers are. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, unfortunately. What's the next one after this one? Oh, it's the U.S. artillery march. Oh, it's the U.S. marches. I still can't believe like they're finally making the movies for this, but God, they're taking forever to make. God, I wish they would actually come out with the movies faster. Should I just kind of blitz through this? Maybe I'm okay with this for now, and I'll just cut it off near the top. I need to erase some of this other garbage lines that I, for some reason, have drawn. Okay, we're just gonna erase all this stuff here. Just kind of clear this out a little bit. So we're just gonna erase this and then this. Over down the dusty trail, rolling along. I'm actually singing the lyrics right now for this. I don't know the lyrics that well. I mean, I think it gets the general idea of like what I'm trying to do, right? Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna hide the color shading layer. Let's see, let's do that. Let's hide the sketch layer. Okay, and then we're gonna take this layer, we're just gonna make it a little harder to see for me. And then for the background, I'm gonna switch this to gray because it's easier for me to work with a dark gray tone for the paper. I don't know if anyone else does this, but this is what I do, and it helps me, I think, with trying to figure out like where things are supposed to be. I'll probably cut it off like around here. Oh, I know what's making this missing. You know what's missing from this that I completely forgot? A ribbon. It's supposed to have the ribbon. Oh wait, I know how we can do this. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna make a new layer. Let's put this layer like here. Gosh, who names their layers? Imagine just raw dogging your layers and just hoping that it works out fine. That's totally not a good way to do things, by the way. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So I'm lazy, so I can just do my ribbons like this. And it mostly works fine. If I need to add depth to it, I'll add depth to it later. But I just need to get this here so I have like indicator of like where the ribbons are. I love the edge color tool. It's so easy. Kind of. Mostly. I think like that is probably correct. And let's make another one on top of that and just do the same edge color, and then we'll just make this make this one like a red gem for now, like around here. Oops, wrong tone. It'd be more like this, and then we'll take a red tone, and then make that little edge real thick. Oh, maybe it's a little too thick. Make it like black. For now, this is fine. Yeah, exactly. I'm screwing up my layers, but I do it on purpose because I am bad at this. Why? Because that's just how it be. All right. I think normally people do their colors towards the bottom, so we're gonna make another folder here right above this. And then let's start with the skin tone. I can never get the skin tones right, but we'll try. Okay, so we're just gonna paint. We will pretend like I can paint. We'll use, I don't know what brush. I normally try to use a different brush. Wait, I downloaded a bunch of brushes. Wait, can I try some of them? Let's see. I downloaded a bunch of painting brushes. I don't know how useful any of these are. Alright, this is called Paint 2. Ooh, it's definitely a paintbrush that only goes in one direction. Alright, that I'm sure will not cause problems later down the line. Is there any other brushes that I have? The Joy of Doodling. Weird effects. Nope, alright, I guess that's the brush that I'm working with. Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, right. I remember why I downloaded this. I downloaded a bunch of brushes because I was like, what if I just followed a Bob Ross tutorial on stream and just see how well, like, you know what? Maybe, hold on, what time is it? All right, let's speed through this and maybe we'll do a Bob Ross paint along. If you want to paint along with me as I watch Bob Ross attempt to paint something, I think that could be kind of interesting. Maybe that could be of interest to someone. I don't like coffee that much, Kahila, so I understand like the whole... I do understand creamy lattes though, because I know people who are really into coffee and they can't function without their cup of joe in the morning. I'm not saying that's me or anyone specific, but there is a lot of people that need their coffee to function, which is maybe a little bit of a coffee addiction, right? Oh wait, no, I can just use the same tone, right? Use tone, flip, multiply, and then I think we were gonna darken... I think I wanted to do like that split design, right? Like something like this. Might be a little too intense though. This definitely has to be like a much lighter tone of how I'm doing this. That's way too, yeah. And then I think it's gotta at least go a little bit further. And then the hair obviously here. Anyways, again, this is mostly just experimenting with stuff and just seeing how it looks. Oops. Cultural heresy template? What am I about to look at? Oh. See, that's good. You know how to draw it. Well, I'm also doing like a different angle. Actually, you know what's really funny? I drew a Kudo thing like a long time ago. Can I find it? Let's see. I wonder if I can find it. Oh my gosh, I might not have saved. It was like an eternity ago. Maybe it was like way before I started drawing regularly. Oh, I can't find it. It's long gone. It's long gone. Yeah, that's tragic. I have a lot of weird illustrations in my folder. Holy cow. Maybe if I ever do an art stream again in the future, I might just be like, all right, let's take submissions. Name something and I will try to do my best to draw it. But not today. Let's give her the purple hair that she deserves. Oh wait, I missed a step. That's fine. Let's put this tone in here, and then we're gonna go back here, take the skin tone. This layer is gonna be I think I do a dodge for this. Well, that's a really strong dodge. Holy cow. Let's maybe weaken that a little bit. And then maybe like around the nose is where you'd have like, I think like right around here. I don't know how to describe it, but I think there's supposed to be like somewhere like right around, like, I don't know what the term is, but it's like where the light meets the dark. You'd have like that thin band of light. I remember seeing that on something, but I have no idea if that's like actually a thing. I might be hallucinating that. We'll try it. We'll see how that looks. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe this will look okay. Alright, we're gonna just paint the hair in. Again, just quick and dirty art stuff, just to kind of get back into the rhythm of things. I don't like this brush. This brush kind of sucks. I'm not vibing with it. Oh, I think I know what I did. Okay, so I think what I did before was I used this opaque brush, filled in the hair like this. Something like this, yeah. I think I'm starting to remember this, okay. And then let's color this in here too. And then make sure it's all filled in as best as I can. Deep and dark. Yeah, because I think that other brush has a little bit too much color texture thing, shenanigans going on, and it's a little inconsistent. And I'm okay with coloring out of the lines because I'm not a professional artist anyways. Who's a professional artist? That's crazy talk. Oh god, we're back in this music. Okay. Why is it... Are we just replaying the same songs? Oh, wait. So the first playthroughs were... Wait, why are we back here? Didn't we listen to this earlier? Plus 3%, minus 2%. What? Oh, I guess this might be like an adjusted tempo. That's probably an adjusted tempo. Let's listen to something else. What is not gonna get me smacked by the copyright gods? The Puella Magi Madoka Magica Orchestra concert. Sure, good enough for me. You know what's really tragic about Madoka? They delayed the movie again. We will never find peace in this world if you're a Madoka fan. You will be always suffering. Being Meguka is pain. They delayed it again for some reason. I keep hoping that they'll stop delaying it, but here we are yet again. Yeah, I'm trying to do something a little different that might be a little more fun to look at. Expect at this point. Listen, I keep praying that they're gonna stop delaying it, but at this point, anything. It's why hope? Why have hopes? Okay, so I think I have to use a smaller brush, and then we're gonna go like this. I think is fine. Let's just kind of follow along the general brush. Ooh, actually no, over here it should be a little brighter, like that. Okay. Try to make it even a little bit. I like this brush because it's got a lot of texture to it, so I'm gonna try to use this one a little bit more. I like this brush a lot. And then the ears should have a little bit of in here too. Yeah, just gotta kind of make sure it looks correct. That's fine. Yeah. And then where else would there be dark shadows here? I think that's about it, really. Yeah. Your expectations have been met. Listen, I have hopes that maybe it'll be undelayed even more, and they'll actually release the movie, because I've been waiting for many, many years for the sequel to the hit series Meguka Mejuka. I pray. Jeez, yeah, that's right, that's fine. Okay, I need a thinner. Actually, hold on. Actually, no. Let's try a thinner brush for this. I have an idea. Actually, it doesn't look very good. All right, yeah, we want the bigger brush for this. And then over here as well, like at the tips, like that. Being Meguka is suffering, as they say. And then I think that's fine. So we'll lower this lighting, I think, a little bit, and we'll just try to add a little bit more. I think. Yeah. Usually the tips here is fine to add some more of the brighter tones. I don't think I'm doing this very well, but well, we're trying it out, see how this works. Because I'm trying not to make it look like it's just two-toned hair, but like at least have like a little bit of a blending to it. Like this is kind of nice if I blend it like this. Yeah, actually though, wait, that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna try a bit more of that. This one should be blended a little bit here. And then we'll just try to follow along here for that. We'll add a little bit more of the lighter tone. Maybe it's a little too much. I don't want to do it like too super excessively, but I'm trying to have like that little balance, because you can now see like there's that middle tone now too. It's almost kind of blending together. But it should really only be on this side, I think. It shouldn't be on the other side. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Try to clean this up a little bit just so it's a little bit more consistent like that, I think is fine. And then we'll try to crank this. Ooh. Yeah, this layer here probably. You know what I need? I think a blur would be fine. I don't really like to use the blur tool too much because it kind of loses the texture. But oh wait, hold on. Okay, that's okay. I think that's fine. It's not ideal, but it's functional. Gosh, I hope we get more Maguka. I love me my Maguka show. I need white. Okay, that's not showing up for some reason. Oh, wait, wrong tool. Always the wrong tool. Go back to my normal. Try this brush again. Yeah, this definitely needs a little bit of texture here, but that's fine. We'll just try to get that in there, and then we'll texture it up in a second. Oh yeah, like that. Oh, look at that, just adding a little bit of some color. I think I should have just not done the Nekograd uniform, and I think I should have just done like a normal Kudo-gi. Probably would have been a lot easier to identify what the heck is going on here. But I've committed to this. I'm already this deep in. What else am I missing here? Alright, uniform. Okay, just do this part. So, go back to my normal tool, which is... Wait, what is this wet brush? Have I used this yet? Ooh, that is some texture that I am not a fan of that. This brush is fine. Did I watch a spin-off anime based off the mobile game? I actually didn't. I meant to watch it. I actually played the English version of the mobile game when it came out, because that was like what, in 2019 or 2017? And I thought it was so funny because that game shut down in like a year or two. And I'm like, this is just suffering. If you like Madoka anything, like you're basically just stuck to. Here's the thing. Okay, so one of my biggest gripes with a lot of Japanese media is a lot of the additional content is locked behind mobile games. One of my favorite franchises did this, and it drives me bananas. So there's a series I really enjoy called Yuki Yuna wa Yusha de Aru, which is Yuki Yuna as a hero. Absolutely one of my favorite series. I actually have a figure of the main character on my shelf of anime figures. And the reason I bring that show up is they actually did a lot of anime. Lots and lots of anime. There's like 4 seasons, I think, basically of the show. But a lot of the additional content is locked behind a mobile game that no longer exists. And it's so tragic. So the only way you can get the additional content is, thankfully, they're re-releasing the entire mobile game as a standalone single-player game that doesn't have any of the stupid microtransaction gacha nonsense. And more importantly, some guy on YouTube made it their life mission to translate every single cutscene from the game and just upload them like a visual novel. And it's beautiful because it actually introduced a lot of character interactions that you wouldn't have ever expected. It is a fairly dark story if you ever get around to watching Yuki Yuna, but I think that's fine. I think the darkness of the show is what kind of makes it interesting. Oh, Credence Justium. Oh man, I remember this. One of my favorite parts about the music in Madoka and in Yuki Yuna is, and also technically something like Nier, is the nonsensical lyrics music. Like, this is Credence Justitum, but if you listen to the original one, hold on, Credence Justitum, Justium. There's a version that actually has like lyrics, which I think the original version that came out in the TV show didn't have the lyrics, but then they did the movie version and there's actual lyrics to it. I'm pulling it up right now. I like talking about music. Dice cantia masa estia. It is like hardcore magical girl transformation core music. it's so good. Well, considering what happens in the rest of Madoka. But yeah, I'm a sucker for like soundtracks that have this type of vibe going for it. Oh my gosh, yeah, the uniform. It's fine. We'll work with it. Wait, can I just bucket this? I feel like I should just be able to bucket this. Oh my goodness. Wait. Oh, because I said it's to refer to. Okay, no. Refer to. That's fine. Oh my goodness, look at that. Bucket fill. I love it. Alright, then I can just clean it up. Alright, so now we can just clean this up a little bit. Because I didn't draw the Yumi all the way, because I'm not gonna... I'll draw the Yumi out all the way down later. Second. Anyways, I like Monaco. I hope we get more Monaco content, but yeah, the movie being delayed is never a good sign, and yeah, a little tragic. At this point, I'm willing to. I've waited this long. I can keep waiting still. I think a lot of people are in the same boat. They've waited this long, they can keep waiting another couple months or years before they finally come with a movie. But I think 2026 is the year that whenever this Monaco sequel is supposed to come out. Yeah, welcome. You know, there's a Monaco chat. This is now a Monaco stream. We're gonna talk about Monaco. Who was your favorite Maguka if you watched Monaco? You can tell a lot about a person based on their favorite Maguka. For example, my favorite Maguka was Kyoko. But then there's also all the jokes about like Homura did nothing wrong, Monaco did nothing wrong. Is this still ongoing? Was it really this long? It's actually like the happiest song in the entire series now that I think about it. Favorite's the red haired girl? Yeah, so it is. So Kyoko. Because yeah, Kyoko was the red one, Sayaka was blue, Monaco was pink, Homura was like black, purple, and Mami was yellow. I should rewatch the Monaco films, honestly. I think I might. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll just rewatch the whole Monaco franchise again. Okay, so that's fine. And then we're gonna quickly do some tones here. So let's get the... You know, let's not do the tones yet. Let's do... I need the gray. Because I think there should be like... We need like a nice, consistent line. Like right around here. Yeah, we do that on this side too, because this is how the uniform looks, and I'm definitely not getting the folds right, but at this point, whatever. Actually, let's put on other, like, what other soundtracks have just ominous singing in a mysterious language? I guess Nier has. Oh wait, I know which one. Let's do Yuki Yuna OST, because that one, their soundtrack was made by Monica, who also did the soundtrack for Nier Automata. I actually have the physical copy of this soundtrack, by the way, because I loved it so much. Like when I went to Japan one time, I was like, I need to get my hands on this. And I even have the art books for this on my shelf. Oh wait, no, I don't want the opening theme. Let's start with Easy. I actually use a lot of the soundtracks from this in my D&D games when I used to DM, because it's just so, something about it's just so peaceful. It's just nice. It's like a lot of good BGM for stuff like that. And so I ended up pilfering a lot of the soundtrack for my own needs. It's calming, it's peaceful, and then the combat music is so good. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know which layer is the skin layer anymore. Whoopsies. I think it was this one. I forgot hands have color. Highly recommend giving Yuki Yuna a watch if you are ever in the mood to watch Magical Girl suffering yet again. You will never find peace for Magical Girl suffering. Sailor Moon? What's that? No, we're all about Maguka here. What's a Sailor Moon? What's a Sailor Senshi? Or whatever they were called. I think they were called Sailor Senshi or something like that. Is there anything I'm looking forward to anime-wise? I don't even know what anime is coming out. I've been meaning to watch that one about the guild master, or like the guild receptionist who just kills all the bosses herself because she doesn't want to have to keep waiting for... Otherwise she can't go home. I don't know what else is like coming out. What else is coming out, actually? Let's see. Anime 2026. What's coming out this year? Okay, Frieren, Jujutsu Kaisen, Jigoku. Okay, so haven't seen that. Oshinoko Season 3. I am, you know what, if they're willing to change the ending of Oshinoko, I will binge all of it. But based on what I've seen in Oshinoko when I read it, I don't know if anyone's read Oshinoko like from start to end, but I was reading Oshinoko back when it was only up to like chapter 10. I was like one of the early adopters of that series. And then it just started, I don't know, it just lost its way, and then the ending, I was like, I'm done. This is garbage. I was reading this for years. And so, yeah, I never forgave them for that ending. Not that I need my forgiveness anyways, because who cares about my opinion? I just thought, I was like, man, this could have been so much better. There was so much potential here. But they squandered it. So that's just me complaining about that though. I don't even know if this is how the shading should look like, but it's probably correct. I guess the shading makes it look a little bit more correctish, maybe. I don't know. That's probably fine. And then... Oh, I gotta do the glove. The glove should be like a nice tan tone, but I'm trying to find a way to make it like not meld too much with all the other clothes tones that I have. I guess this one's fine. Yeah, it's okay. That's acceptable. And then we'll just clean that up a little bit, and then we'll add some more color with some of my favorite multiply layer shenanigans. This is like the #1 tool I have, multiply layers. Someone's gonna be like, oh, lazy. And you know what? You're right. I am. That's fine. And then we'll clean that up a little bit. There we go. And then... What else am I missing here? Oh wait, we gotta fix the clothing colors, which I think is layer number... I want to say 22. Okay, that's fine. And then I need to definitely clean this up a little bit, because obviously there's like kind of missing the transition here. We're gonna go back to this one of these layers. I don't care which one. Alright, this one here, switch back to black. Jet black. Give it a nice thin brush, and then... Because essentially, you shouldn't be able to see it, but there should be more in the back here. That's fine, I think. It just doesn't look very good. Whatever. Because essentially what's happening, especially like with this hand, is that it's kind of like this, right? So this hand here should, from the side, looks a little like... like the hand is like this, right? And then you have like the fingers, obviously, and then the rest of the hand. So that's why it doesn't look proper from this angle. This angle is very awkward. What else is coming out this season? Oh, the only other thing I want to watch is Fate Strange Fake. As someone who is knee-deep in the Fate-verse, extended universe fandom, it is my obligation to watch that TV series. And I'm very excited for that. I'm one of those people that have been like around Fate since my early anime weeb days. Crazy to think how far Fate has come Although I think it's basically entirely funded by fake grand order, which is not ideal. Everything is just like the entire Fate franchise is just entirely funded by fake grand order. Mechanics of the Nasuverse are. It's so funny because Nasu, like they try to add like actual RPG elements to it, right? Because you'll see something like, oh, this servant is like, you know, like this is Saber, and you know she's got like authority of kings A+, and it's just like, what does this mean? Like, what do any of these skills mean? And you see, like, this happens to like every single servant too. Like, no matter who it is, they just have like weirdly specific skills that aren't like really explained in any meaningful way. Like, what's another example of this type of character? Like Bazaka. I think, let me look, let's see, what has he got? I'm gonna pull it up right now. Pulling up his wiki entry. Let's see, yeah, personal skills, like, oh, he's got like mind, or you've got something like mind's eye, and it's gonna be like rank B, or you're gonna have something like I'm trying to think of another, what's another servant? Or Sitonai. Sitonai, that's another one. She'll have a skill that's like, oh yeah, I'm looking right now. She's got like Snow Fairy EX. Or she's got something like Divine Core of the Goddess B, and I'm just like, I don't understand what it's supposed to be. But I remember like reading somewhere like it's because a lot of Fate is kind of modeled after tabletop RPGs, and that's kind of why there's all these like weird nonsense mechanics, because it's modeled after like how RPGs work. And I guess I can see the logic. Is it completely sensical? But it's fine, I think. It's just a little wacky. Just gonna gray that out a little because I want to see my initial shading layer here. Okay, I don't need that anymore. That's fine. We'll just go with vibes. All vibe. It's vibes-based art now. I think it's like RPGs and TRPGs, but I think it was mostly like TRPGs. But I might not be remembering that correctly. It's been a very long time since I like really looked deep into like the mechanics of the Nasuverse, because it's, oh shoot, wrong layer. Because it is fairly nonsense. Alright, we're gonna go here, darken, multiply, kablam. Take this layer, make it a big brush. Nasuverse got weird after FGO. It is a little strange. I think the Nasuverse was a little better when it wasn't so crazy on, you know, all the FGO stuff. Not saying FGO was kind of ruined by, or the Nasuverse was ruined by FGO, but the FGO is what's giving the Nasuverse metric tons of money. And that's why we're able to keep getting more Nasuverse content, so you kind of just take what you can get. That's fine. We'll go back to the whites, which I think is this layer, and then we'll make another layer here, clip, darken, multiply, and then we'll just kind of, I think that's this layer, is that right? Yeah. And then we'll take the gray, clip on here. This is probably not the correct layer. What is this layer? Wrong layer. All right, cool. This is the layer I meant. Okay, here, darken, take the gray. I'm just gonna go, oh. Just take that real quick and just kind of do there. Like that is fine. Perfect. You're more into the Masada verse, also if you're looking at VNs, you're more fucking Full Metal, Damon Muramas if you can't stomach dark. So I can stomach dark stuff. I'll look at something and I'll be like, yep, that's a thing that just happens, and I'm gonna be completely immune. I just don't have time to read a lot of visual novels nowadays, because visual novels are very time consuming, if that makes sense. That's why VNs are usually not a thing that I'm consuming nowadays as much as I'd like to. There was a time where I used to read a lot of VNs, but that time is long gone, unfortunately. The time is long past. I think like this is fine. Yeah. We'll use another color dodge here. Or glow dodge? I don't know what I'm using. That's fine. God, I love the Monaca soundtracks that they do. It's so good. It's so ominous and it's just so spooky. You know what I mean? Like, this soundtrack is just amazing. I think it's kind of why I hold Yuki Yuna in such high regard. Like, the music just is so good when you combine it with the fairly dark storyline as well. It's a wonderful mesh. I don't know what layer I drew the Yumi lines on, and now I'm kind of crazy trying to figure out where that was. Huh. Oh yeah, I think I drew that wrong. It probably should have been angled differently, but I think I'm already committed. Ugh. Yeah, I definitely drew that incorrectly. That's fine. Let's at least, I just want to at least get this done so I can say I drew something and I am not a complete failure. So we'll commit. Is it perfect? No. Thinner line. No, more serious. Like this. Okay. And then we gotta color the eyes in too, so we'll just do another layer. Because she's definitely got more of a crimson look, I think. Oh shoot. There we go. Start dark, and then you can kind of work backwards from there. We'll zoom in a little bit. Hey, at least I'm trying to draw something, right? Art's hard. They say practice makes perfect, but you gotta be willing to put the practice in. I was talking to someone about this early the other day, and I basically said, I was asking, like, how do you guys get into the mood for art, right? And I think I basically went up. My thing was, I struggle to get started. I think once I get started and I get into the flow of things, it's a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier than you think to actually start doing art, right? Like, once you're in the flow. But it's kind of hard to get into that flow state, I think, is what I find the most difficult. But once you can kind of get into that flow state, it's like everything's a lot easier. And that's the hard part, trying to get there. That makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna do another layer, and then we'll just do hard black here. And then we'll just put on top, we'll just go. I think for her, my gimmick is that she has these almost similar to what I have. No, this is the Yuki Yuna OST. If it's too loud, let me know. Something like that's probably correct. Yeah, I don't like how this looks. Well, at least I can say that I tried. Yeah, at least I can say that I tried. Let's drag this below the eye layer. Here's probably fine. The eyes, the eye in there. I think it really is. I think I just really need to draw bigger eyes. I think my eyes are just not large enough for what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I think my biggest issue is I'm not drawing nearly eyes wide enough. It's okay. Learning experience, right? Learning from mistakes. What is this track? I think this is the yeah, 1 star 1 flower. They started because it starts getting more ominous. Switch to the next one. Is this the first combat one? Yeah, there we go. Listen to that ominous piano. Alright, where are my other layers? I'm trying to remember which other of these layers are what do what. I need to go back to this layer. I need to clean this up a little bit. Just gonna add a little bit more lines here, just kind of flesh it out a little bit because I'm kind of messed up. Okay, what else am I missing? We'll do the old lines on the clothes in a bit, and then I want to add at least another. I need to add a nose line because I kind of been not drawing her nose, but people have noses. There's always so many ways to draw anime noses. You can always do like the small dot, which is so common. I've also seen like this. I don't like it, or like this one. I don't like most of these. I usually just do the dot. The dot's usually my nose solution. Is it perfect? No, but it kind of gets the point across, I think. Alright, I think for her, I'm gonna just make the Yumi black. I think a black Yumi is perfectly reasonable to work with. So I'm just gonna go... Let's see. And bucket fill here. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay, I can kind of bucket fill some of this. Oh, okay, I was able to bucket fill most of it. It just needs to clean up. Got it. Alright, let's clean up the bucket fill, because the bucket fill didn't do too hot. Just clean this up a little bit because there's a lot of janky lines everywhere. Yeah. I'm glad at least I was able to explain the joy of Kyudo to people. It's always fun talking about my hobbies. One of my other hobbies is playing Magic the Gathering, and there was a point where I was trying to design custom Magic cards for VTubers and add them to my Jumpstart cube. I actually made a couple. And I'm trying to see if I can slowly start adding them to my actual physical collection. At least like the Jumpstart half decks. And then I'll just proxy out the custom cards and throw them into the cube so that they can be played. Because I think it's a lot of fun to at least have something like that. Because I know there's that other VTuber card game, V-Card, out there, and for lack of better words, V-Card, if you've ever seen it, it's a trading card game. About VTubers, but I call it a Gooner game because that game is just very loot. It's not quite super loot art, but that game has terrible mechanics and basically exists as a vehicle to sell collectibles about VTubers. I have a very strong opinion on it, and that opinion is not at all positive. If one of your Oshis is on it, more power to you, but I think whatever the Phase Connect game is, at least that's at least they actually put thought into the card game mechanics instead of just being buy our packs and see if you can collect the ultra super hollow foil rare signed card by your Oshi. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. But what do I expect out of a company that also sells what's it called? Gamer supplements, I think is what it is. Yeah, they sell gamer subs. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, if that's their thing, more power to them, I guess. I just think it's dumb. Oh, shoot. Yeah. I don't know why I'm even complaining about this. Because I remember, like, when it first came out, they were like, hey, if you lose, you have to ante up when you play, you have to ante up your rarest card, and if you lose your rarest card. Like, if we're playing Season 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! For some reason. It was so dumb, but whatever. I just don't like V-Card as a game. I think it's dumb. But that's just me. Don't let my opinion cloud your opinion on it if you like the game. Maybe you like collecting cards of your waifu Oshi streamer. It's a very basic game. Like, the core mechanic basically just boils down to play your cards, play your other cards, see who gets the highest point number, you win the round. You repeat this until you're at like best of 3 or best of 5, and then you win. It's basically a game that you're supposed to be able to slam out in like 10 minutes. which is a very quick game, but really the main point is that they can sell you booster packs with lots of cards and lots of art. And it's also supported, and again, it's being, it's published by a company that makes, you know what, hold on, it's probably easier, hold on, let me make sure, here, you know what, here, take a look at the card art. I think this is hopefully safe to show on stream, but this is like, here, let's, I don't know who any of these people are, or I know some of them. Let's look at, like, look at Captain Hana or Onigiri, right? Like, that's definitely artwork. That one's actually fine. I like that one. But then you have this one, which is very much a sexual piece of art. And then you have something like Limes is probably like the most clean one. But yeah, a lot of waifu core type stuff. I think they're starting to add male VTubers to this too. But you can see that. You can see like where they're kind of leaning with the art style of this game. Like, come on. So, again, it's a waifu card game featuring primarily indie VTubers. If you like it, more power to. Oh yeah, there's male VTubers. Yeah, there's Heavenly Father. Only feel good with Vival and Gooder games. I mean, there's a. Like, the thing with a game like this is that it's not just it's also like if you're a male VTuber who happens to be in with like the popular indies, then yeah, you're gonna be in here at some point too. Like, that's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. And you have like a decent following. Like, there's a Joel card here, which is very funny. But yeah, a lot of the art in some of these cards are like, some of them actually have like really cool art. Like, okay. Like, here's Sanshin or Sansin. Like, I actually kind of like how that looks. It's cool, right? And then you have, I guess, Shoto, who is in his gardener core phase. But then you start looking more, and it's just like, so anyways, how much boob can we put in your face? So, I'm not trying to disparage the designs or anything, but I'm just saying, like, there's clearly like a specific market segment that the card game is trying to target, and I find it just a little silly, if that makes sense. And that's just kind of my opinion on it. That's my opinion on this game in particular. Oh my god, I hate this so much. Okay, so this string layer, I need it to be a different color, so I'm gonna use the color tool. I'm just gonna make it like a nice, because string is normally like a nice yellow tone. It like straw. I'm just trying to find this straw tone. There's a lot of yellow on this design, which is kind of annoying. Can I add a nice border? Make it like black. I think if we do it like that, that's probably okay. And make it like a little higher up on the list. Yeah, okay, that's probably fine. I don't know how to draw the folds in the clothes. I think that's where I'm struggling the most. Clothes are difficult. Let's see if I can figure it out. All right, so I need to draw some kind of way to show that, like, okay, like this is the pit, right? I need to find an example real quick. Probably do something like, you probably have to draw it like represented with something like that, right? And then also over here, obviously that's kind of like the pit of the clothes. And then also over here, obviously, and then you have to like figure out like where the lighting is, all this. But unfortunately, I am not nearly that skilled for clothing. And I will try my best to see what I can come up with. This is approximately where the arm would be here, I think. And then one day I will learn. Maybe I just need to actually put effort into practicing instead of complaining all the time. I wish I could have like a painty art style. Painty art style would be cool. But unfortunately, that's also a little difficult. Hello, Greywind. Good evening. How are you, comrade? Yeah, I definitely don't like how I drew this. I think the shading layer needs to be a little... Well, actually, yeah, if we make it like that. I think if we make it a little less dark, it's fine. Crank that around. Benching on Helldivers. How is the new stuff? I haven't had a chance to play the new content. I've been wanting to fight my way to Cyberstan with all the other Helldivers. I might tonight, maybe. Oh, this is one of my favorites. 5 stars, 5 flowers. It's fun. Well, that's good to hear. A lot of people I know are saying they're having a lot of fun with it, so I definitely want to put it on my list. Yeah, I played Helldivers basically since the day it came out. I touch it like maybe like once a month, and that's about it right now. I did see the automatons took over the Helldivers official sites, and they're posting stuff in binary, right? Yeah. The other thing too is I have enough. I need to buy a new. What is it called? War bond, because I have enough of the credits or whatever it's called to. Like, I'm reaching the cap of 250, and so I'm like, I need to pick one of these war bonds to buy, and I have no idea which one I'm gonna buy right now. There's been a few times where I considered streaming Helldivers, but I don't think my PC can handle streaming Helldivers and streaming. I think it would just explode on contact, so that's why we have not done a Helldiver stream on this channel. One more thing I forgot is I'm gonna draw the arrow. We're gonna draw the ya, which should not be too difficult. I think I'm just gonna make this real easy on myself. We're gonna use the power of a straight line tool. Oh my gosh, I didn't angle this correctly, did I? Yeah, I definitely did not draw this properly. Because it would be something like here. I mean, I guess it's... No, because it would be like around... It'd be like right around here-ish. Maybe it's okay. Alright, this needs to be a little thicker. Let's make it like... My yas are silver, so we're gonna use silver for the ya. We're thinking of getting a new pre-built PC, especially if it feels age. Oh, yeah, especially with the cost of stuff nowadays. I don't blame you for trying to get like just a pre-built. It's probably like a better idea, honestly. I would guesstimate that it's probably about this size. And then I'd probably just do with it. I'd probably just do this, add like a black. Let's make it a little thicker. Maybe like a more darker gray tone. Like this one will erase where it needs to go, so like maybe this. That's about right, I think. I think here we would need to put it under the... I think that's probably correct. It's kind of janky. Costco is really good, I would say, for PCs. A lot of my friends have bought pre-built at Costco because it's cheap and they function. So not a bad option if you're looking for, you know, something that works right out of the box, right? This my ears like really itchy. I gotta like pick at it real quick. Oh gosh. Art is such a strange thing to stream. I think next week if we ever do art again, I think what we'll do is we'll just maybe we'll do like those weird sketches that I used to do, like, all right, give me a character and we'll try to do a very quick 10-15 minute sketch of them, kind of get back into the vibe. This is probably okay enough. It's not super perfect, but hey, you know, at least I tried. I probably would add something like here. You gotta, the thing is, I don't really know how to draw like clothing folds, like where the... I know there's something obviously here happening with the whole trying to like carry the bow up, but it's just I can't seem to figure like where a lot of the other clothing folds would happen, and that's what really bothers me. Is like I just don't have that skill to point that stuff out. I guess it's okay. Let me switch to the white paper. Okay, and then I'm just gonna crop this. Yeah, let's just crop this. How do I crop? Oh wait, no, it's you take this tool, rectangle, crop around. You can probably crop like a square. Maybe a little bigger. Maybe like this. How do I expand this? Oh shoot, no, it's the wrong tool. Okay. Like how it came out. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. I'm a little iffy on it, but I'm glad at least I finished something. I think that's probably okay. So now I will crop this. And we'll add a nice cool random square as a background color because that's the hot thing that people do. We'll use, I don't know. I'll use this for now. It's a little too much. Let's do like a teal. Oh wait, I can, oh, that's a gradient tool. Wrong tool. I would like a different tool. Where's my shapes? Oh, here it is. Rectangle. We'll do circle, why not? Yeah, we'll do an ellipses. Filled. That's fine. I don't know how to invert these. How do I invert these tones? I don't know how to invert colors. Why is Clip Studio Paint so confusing to use? How do I invert these colors? Oh, you know what? Screw this. I'll make this easy on myself. We'll do the focus up here. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay. I definitely could have done this better, but for someone who's at least just trying to experiment with something, I think having a little bit of experimentation is fine. Why is that making the background color darker? That's super odd. That's weird. Alright, good enough. Alright. I think that's fine. I tried to do art. Art is a very difficult process, and I'm at least glad I tried to do something. I kind of want to try a Bob Ross. Wait, let me. I kind of want to try a Bob Ross attempt. Should we try a Bob Ross? Should we try a Bob Ross art experiment? Let's see. I'm gonna get in trouble if I stream a Bob Ross video while trying to follow along. I might actually get hit with copyright now that I think about it. That might not be a good idea. And I also don't have the tools for it, so... Actually, hold on. Let's see. Let's see here. You have a tip? What is your tip? I don't want members only content. I just want the regular ones. Oh wait, hold on. This is a 1 hour Bob Ross video. I don't think I want to do a 1 hour Bob Ross video. 25 minutes. Can I do this on stream? Let's see. Let me look at this video real quick. Oh my gosh. You know what? I wonder, because the main thing is with digital is you don't have the blending that real paint has, and that's kind of the biggest issue with trying to do anything like Bob Rossy, right? Hold on, let's try it. We're gonna try this. I'm vaguely curious to see if I can do this. Let me plug it on. Let me plug it in on a channel here real quick, or on screen, so we can all follow along if you're interested in following along with my little Bob Ross adventure. Here we go. Score selection kind of. Oh, okay. I think for now we'll just leave it as is because I'm lazy. Let me save this real quick. I'll export it later. All right. Bob Ross. What is the best Bob Ross video we can follow along to? Something that's not super long. Island in the Wilderness, 25 minutes. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this. Maybe I can try this. All right. I hope I'm not gonna get in trouble from the powers that be. How do I make this keep playing? This is the theater mode, I guess, is fine. All right. Let me shrink it on that side. All right, let's see if we can do this. I'm probably gonna get in trouble. YouTube, please no ban. I am good streamer. I am very good streamer.
Hello, I'm Bob Ross, and I'd like to welcome you to the 29th Joy of Painting series.
Oh my gosh, the 29th Joy of Painting? All right.
Allow me to extend a personal invitation for you to
let me set up a new canvas here.
And paint along with us each show. And if you've been with us before,
all right, so he's using a square canvas, right? All right, we're gonna do a square canvas too.
Another series of painting shows. We'll use about a dozen colors of some.
All right, let's try this. Let's see if I can do this. Paint. If you have a paint program, open up your paint program and join me while we try to do this.
So I tell you what, let's get started. Today we'll have them run all the colors across the screen right there that you need to paint along with us while they're doing.
All right, so hold on. So I'm gonna set up my palette real quick so I can just grab the colors on a whim. Okay, so hold on. So we're gonna do a new layer real quick. So he's got. Okay, so let me set this up to be like a mild off-white tone, not true white. I think off-white is good. Okay, so he's got. Okay. We're just gonna do. Oh wait, I have a so we'll do. Okay, so he's got hard white. What's phthalo green? Okay, I'm just gonna pick a green tone. I assume it's kind of like a leafy green. Maybe like this. All right, what else does he have?
Let me tell you what I've got going up here.
Blue.
Today I'm using an 18 by 24
Okay, so we got a Prussian blue and a phthalo blue, a midnight black, a dark sienna. What is dark sienna?
And I've just covered the entire canvas with a very thin coat of liquid white. The liquid white is designed to make the canvas wet and
cadmium yellow.
It allows us to actually blend
what are these colors?
Right here on the canvas.
Indian yellow, which I assume is okay. So hold on.
Let's get started. I thought today we'd just do a very simple little scene that I hope you'll enjoy.
Okay, so I think
let's start with
Indian
a little
yellow
2-inch brush and a touch of the alizarin crimson.
Alizarin crimson. Okay, so we need like a red, crimson-y tone. All right. Let's see. This looks crimson-y enough. All right. First of all, do I even have the brushes to do this? I did download a bunch of brushes that supposedly will allow me to do what he's doing. So he's using a wide bristle, right? Okay, so let's pull out the wide bristle.
We just load a little bit right into the bristles. Pull a little paint out.
Okay.
Tap the bristles firmly.
Whoa, hello.
To assure a nice even distribution of paint all the way through the bristles. And let's go right up here.
Okay, so.
And we'll take this old brush and just making little X's, little crisscross strokes.
Okay, so first of all, why is my brush not working? I got the wide bristles on. Oh wait, hold on, I gotta set this to amount of paint. Okay, so this needs to be, there we go. So I have an amount of paint that I can adjust here. Okay, perfect. So he says a little bit of paint, right? Just a little bit, kind of get that color. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be very annoying. How do I do this? I cranked this on like a 4. Oh my gosh. I don't think this tool's gonna work too well, by the way. All right, maybe not. Maybe this is not feasible. Okay, I think this might not be feasible on stream. Because I am barely touching it, and it's putting that much paint on the canvas. I think I'm using the correct one, right? The Joy of Doodle brush set is what I should be using. Maybe it's the other pack. Wide bristles. Let's try this one. Maybe the first one's no good anymore. Delete this tool. Yes. Oh, I think this might be it. Okay, so we're gonna adjust the paint down. Yeah, I think. Oh, here we go. So change color stretch to about 91, and then really, it's still not. Okay. Oh yeah, I have to be like super gentle with that. Okay. Unless I crank this up a little bit higher, crank this one a little bit lower. Nope, okay, I don't think this is gonna work. Alright, maybe that's fine. We won't do any Bob Ross today. I think it's just not really feasible. I'm not really sure what the correct settings are, and I have to kind of look it up. But maybe one day we'll do like a paint along to Bob Ross, and I think that might be something at least fun thing to do on the side. Anyways, I'm glad at least I got a thing done. I don't think I have time to try doing another drawing, because I think it would just take a little too much time. So let's see. And I do have my root canal tomorrow, so I think I might just get some extra rest today so I'm not dying when I have that. So let's just end here, I think. I know it's a little early, but suspicious wizard. But with the whole thing, with my root canal, which is in the morn, it's a 10. I'm not gonna draw that. It's fine. Anyways, hopefully you had a good rest of your. You had an enjoyable stream. We're gonna go raid Suspicious Wizard, who's playing Menace, which is a really fun game. Go definitely give it a shot. Go say hi. He's a cool fellow who occasionally stops by. Hopefully, I'll be back on Monday, fully healed, and we will be ready for more Ribba worlding. So we'll do Rimworld on Monday, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, good night, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for swinging by. I know it's a bit of a short stream. It is my birthday this month, and I have no idea what I'm doing for the birthday stream, if anything special, but I will try to come up with something to do different, okay? I will try to find something fun that's not just playing Rimworld or playing a city builder or something. I'll come up with something. Anyways, good night. Rest well. Bye-bye.